Visit paidforcare.aarpfoundation.org to learn more.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 101.7 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Since taking over the newly merged film and TV behemoth Paramount Skydance, CEO David Ellison has made no secret that he's interested in growing the business with big-time media deals and recently has his eyes set on WB Discovery. Ariel Investments founder and chairman John Rogers is no stranger to investing in the entertainment space, and he says a deal to buy WB Discovery makes a lot of sense for someone in Ellison's position.
There's huge synergies, huge cost cuts that are available. You'd have two major studios. Maybe you could sell one of the studios and studio lot and all the real estate value that's there, but also just, again, extraordinary amount of synergies that are there, extraordinary amount of cost cutting that's there, and we put it all together. I think there's this real potential of a merger like that would happen.
Ariel Investments is one of the largest black-owned investment firms. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect that of the staff and management of Good Karma Brands, but are the sole responsibility of the host and guests of this particular show.
America may have many, many days, but they will be full of trouble. There will be no rest. There will be no tranquility in this country until the nation comes to terms with our problems.
Bringing you social and political commentary from his mouth to your ears. Breaking down the issues which matter to you.
You are not put here to be a white man's footstool. You are put here to represent the very best in God's word.
Legendary civil rights icon, the Reverend Jesse Jackson in the studio. Reverend Jackson, how are you?
Mr. Sherwin, good morning on this chilly Milwaukee morning.
And I am pleased to have one of the founding members of the Black Panther Party, Chairman Bobby Seale. Mr. Chairman, how are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
To Mr. Eric Holder. Mr. Holder, so good to see you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, man. How you been? It's been a long time. Haven't seen you for a while.
The Dr. Cornell West. Dr. West, how are you, sir?
My dear brother, you're so kind, you're so generous, man. But I salute you and the work that you were doing there. Doing a magnificent job there in Wisconsin.
Stream live on 1017thetruth.com. Call in with your questions or comments. 833-212-1017. Join us on social media at 1017 The Truth. It may not be what you expect to hear, but I will definitely give you what you need to know. Are you ready for the truth?
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Sherwin Hughes.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Thursday, October 30th, 2025. I was taking a look at some numbers. They are incarceration figures, and they are nationwide. So these are not people who have been charged with a crime. These are individuals who have been found guilty. Maybe it was a jury of their peers. Maybe they admitted their guilt. And the numbers are pretty staggering. I'm not going to bore you with, all the money we spend on mass incarceration, because then the conversation ultimately will get funneled down to, well, we don't live in a safe society. We have many crimes, we have many criminals, and we have lawmakers that make many laws, and people break the laws, and if you break the law, you go to jail. Unless you're the president, then literally none of that matters. But as I'm looking at all of these numbers, I think it comes down to one thing, because we do have some elections coming up. Not really sure how our elections are going to look and feel different with the intense paranoia of the current executive of the United States, who believes that all elections that he does not win are fraudulent. So more on that later. But I think it comes down to some real basic things. There's going to be some economic stuff. How is the job market? What are wages doing? People are very concerned about inflation and the cost of things. You know, that might have been a precipitating reason why the Biden administration went out with a whimper. Not just because Joe Biden was sleeping, but it went out with a whimper because whatever gains were made between 2020 and 2024 with COVID and trying to get the economy back on track, we put so much money into the economy by printing money and giving everybody stimmies that the value of the dollar went down and the price of goods and services went up, and people don't like that because your wages, your income may not have gone up, but the value of the dollar went down, and so inflation was an issue, and people were mad about eggs, etc., right? So it's going to be some economic things that folks are going to be focused on. What's the price of housing? I know rents are insane. Mortgage rates, they are high. They're coming down a little bit, so someone who may want to purchase a home could very well still be priced out of the home that they want to live in because interest rates are high. And all these things are going to culminate, plus whatever is left of our democracy, how much decision-making authority and ability do the people actually have? That's going to be really important. I think that's going to be a driving factor in what public sentiment will be in 2026 and beyond, because typically, if the public is really against a thing, something, I don't know, getting into a foreign war or defunding a federal program, whatever it is, typically those running for office and those currently in office, they prioritize that. Oh, the public is 98% against this thing. Then let's not go against what 98% of the public is against. But this administration is a little bit different. Like, they don't care. Donald Trump has recently ordered the Department of Defense to do nuclear testing again because, you know, Russia and China are. Whether Russia and China are actually doing nuclear testing, don't know. But now Donald Trump has ordered the Department of War to order nuclear testing. You know how long it's been since we tested a nuclear weapon? 30 years. Want to know why we don't need to test nuclear weapons? Because they work. Yeah, they work really good. They work too well, actually. So now you have some kind of saber rattling between Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and Donald Trump. And I bet there's not a big penis between the three of them. There's not. I'm just saying, why? Anybody need to test no nuclear weapons? Everybody know you got little wee-wees. Seriously, just put them out on the table and just see who's got the biggest wee-wee, and then you just bow down to the one with the biggest wee-wee because that's what it's all about. Don't let me digress yet. My show is 8 minutes old. Damn! You know what else is insane? If there was a nuclear holocaust, those 3 men would survive. I don't even know where I'd go. Where's the fallout shelters? Where am I going to go? Where do you... There used to be these signs. They were insignia. It was a yellow and black. I can't really describe it. If you see it, you might recognize it. It tells you where a nuclear fallout shelter is. They've removed all of those signs. So remember when you were in school, if you're of a certain age, we had tornado drills. Remember tornado drills? Those were not tornado drills. Tornadoes don't hit Milwaukee. I've been in Milwaukee 50 years. It's been windy. We get lightning. It rains. We don't get tornadoes here. Those tornado drills, which were fun. I like the tornado just because you hear the sound of the siren and like, oh, look, everybody, tornado drill time. Let's go hide in the basement and put a book over our head. Those were nuclear war exercises, but they didn't want to traumatize us, so they called them tornado drills, right? Oh, it's I didn't know that until later. I thought it was actually a tornado drill. which I was very prepared for. If there was ever a tornado drill, I'm going to get to the lowest level of a building and put a book over my head and sit there until I hear the all clear. So tornado, nuclear weapon. But here's what's crazy. So now kids do mass shooter drills, and they just call them mass shooter drills. Hey, kids, barricade the door because there's a likelihood that someone who is literally in this classroom right now is going to shoot all of us. So let's do a drill so that the child that's going to shoot all of us knows the drill of how we're going to hide from the person that's in this classroom because they're doing the drill with us. That's insane. At least they lied to us about the tornado drills, because that would have freaked us out, I'm sure, because nuclear war was a real thing. Well, now nuclear war is becoming a thing all over again. So I'm going to put Donald Trump and his wants, wishes, and desires and impulses to the side for a moment and focus on what I think is going to move people to elections. So it's not even about what our public sentiment is. There might be a large number of people that want the affordable health care tax credit subsidies to remain in place. But if this administration doesn't want it, then they're not going to remain. So that's really problematic, because now you have to look at other things. It's not even about what the public wants, because this administration and dare I say other Republicans don't really care what you want. It's about what they want and what their best interests are, which seems to me to be serving Donald Trump. And it's not serving the interests of the American people. So it may change voting behavior and the things that we prioritize. So it's going to be education issues, I'm sure. Economic issues. What's the job situation? Like, how's your 401k doing? Some of you people are close to retiring and you want to have all the retirement monies you can possibly get. But what is always going to be on the ballot, especially in the city of Milwaukee, is public safety. We cannot get around it. It is always going to be something we're talking about, and rightfully so, because you want to feel safe. I want to feel very safe when I'm driving out on the streets and I'm going for a walk, when I walk my dog. I don't have a dog, but if I did, I'd walk it, and I'd want to feel safe when I'm walking my dog. Can't expect my dog to protect me. I got to protect myself and my dog. I want the streets to be safe in the city of Milwaukee. We also spend a tremendous amount of money on public safety. And so I have a question for you all. I'm just curious. If you are familiar with the city of Milwaukee, even slightly, or if you live here, or if you once lived here, I know that there are people that listen to this program that have long since flown the coop of Milwaukee, but they still have friends and family here. And they may listen to this program or other programs on 101.7 The Truth to see what's going on in the city in which they left. But I bet some of you miss it here. Milwaukee is your ex, but they did it to you real good. You know what I mean? Like, there was really bad things, stuff you didn't like. Your ex didn't pick up after themselves. They were a little careless, a little reckless. They were sometimes a little irresponsible, but there's this like deep affection you had for your ex. Those of you that left Milwaukee, we're the ex that you left, but you still think about us. Sometimes when you're driving home at night and you're at that stoplight and you're just thinking, and just the way we used to do it to you hits you like a ton of bricks. That's what Milwaukee is. You know, you can't ever forget us. You want to come back? We'll be here. We'll be here. And it'll be just like you remembered. I said don't let me digress, but show us only 14 minutes old. So we put a question up on the YouTube. Do you think that Milwaukee is a safe city? Because I want to delve into this, because I looked at nationwide incarceration numbers, which of course Milwaukee plays a role in because we're the biggest city in Wisconsin. A lot of people, a lot of infractions, a lot of crime. We invest a lot in police. In fact, we are still underinvested in police in the city of Milwaukee. There's a minimum number of police officers that we are supposed to have by law, by Act 12, and we don't have those police. So I want to ask you, do you feel safe? And if you do feel safe, and we don't know what the results of the poll is going to be, and if you feel safe, maybe we are potentially over-investing in law enforcement and in public safety. But first, let's get an assessment with all the numbers of incarcerated people. With like 16% of people that are incarcerated are serving life sentences, does that make us any safer? What I believe we should do, and not that I'm trying to load the question here, is yes, you have to arrest and incarcerate people, but at the same time, are we putting the same kind of effort, energy, money, resources, whatever, into arresting the problems that create the social issues that lead people to making some bad choices. So you can arrest the person, but are we also arresting the problem? And if we are not arresting the problem, then we are not going to make any meaningful progress on creating a safer city. Also, Marquette University came out with their law school poll with an assessment of the issues here in Wisconsin ahead of the governor's race next year. Even did some name identification of the announced Democratic and Republican candidates for governor. I don't put a lot of stock in the Marquette University Law School poll. Locally, a lot of media does because Marquette is, it's a university here in the city of Milwaukee. But I don't put a lot of stock in that poll because it's not really accurate. And also, I don't know any smart people that went to Marquette. Sorry, never met one. Sure, there's probably some smart people that went to Marquette. I don't know you. I've never been impressed by anyone that went to Marquette University. In fact, if you went to Marquette University, you probably should keep that to yourself. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back. Let's dig into public safety, shall we? You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Get ready for a breath of fresh air with Community Heartbeat, your go-to show for health and wellness in our vibrant city. Presented by Outreach Community Health Centers and hosted by me, Sherwin Hughes. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. as we take you on a journey toward a healthier Milwaukee. Community Heartbeat is not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. We've got expert interviews, inspiring stories, and the inside scoop on local events from Outreach Community Health Centers that will keep your heart pumping with positivity.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
It's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources, Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a bee's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dog.
We have all these little technology things. Wisconsin reckless driving. Lawmakers proposed a speed limiter device. So I guess if you're a reckless driver and you've been caught driving recklessly many times, however you define reckless driving, I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it's going a certain number of miles per hour over the posted speed limit. Maybe it's weaving in and out of traffic, whatever it is. So they are proposing you have to get these speed limiter devices installed in your vehicle. So that's one of those little creative, technological ways in which we can reduce crime, because reckless driving has just reached a fever pitch, it seems, in the last, 5 or 6 years, right? There's always something. There's always like a new crime or a reimagined crime that we have to turn our attention to because we want to make sure that our city is safe. I'm just not sure who is defining what is and what is not safe. That is where we need some agreement. And I think different races and cultures and ethnicities feel safe or unsafe in certain places, right? So if I feel safe as an individual, Sherwin Hughes, walking whatever neighborhood in the city of Milwaukee at night, But somebody else who isn't me from somewhere else, who maybe has been victimized before, if they don't feel safe, then we have a mismatch of public safety. Because they don't feel safe, they may vote for or support much more punitive measures on people and putting more funding in police. But you got to get the money from somewhere. You got to take it out of education. You have to take it away from social programs that might better invest in people so that they can make better choices. But if this person doesn't feel safe, oh, Milwaukee is terrible. We need to have all sorts of law enforcement tools and put more money in incarceration. We got to build more prisons because that person doesn't feel safe. Personally, I feel safe damn near anywhere I go in this city. The only thing I worry about is sometimes I have this generic 50-year-old black man look that people might confuse me for someone that owes them money. I have been confused for other people before. Hey, ain't you Don Trejo's cousin? No. Are you sure? Positive. So I worry about that, just mistaken identity, that I look like somebody else. But for the most part, I feel safe. But if you're a Caucasian person from the suburbs and you don't go to Milwaukee, you're afraid of Milwaukee because, you know, every time you come here, you're going to get murdered, which is interesting because a lot of those suburban folks who purport to be afraid of the city of Milwaukee because, you know, black people will come here and buy dope in a second. Huh! Not afraid to buy heroin, though. That's pretty cool. So there's that. So you're not that afraid because where some of those people go to buy their dope, like those are the places where I don't feel safe. But they do. They walk into the dope house, know everybody by name. Hey, Jonathan, how are you? How are the kids? Oh, Sally, look at you. Is that a new wig? Look at Sally. Looking thin, Sally. Looking good. So I think we have a mismatch of public safety, and I think that African Americans are not really asked what we think public safety is, because aren't we much more likely to be victims? Here's another example. I didn't get to it yesterday. I wanted to. So the Trump administration has essentially criminalized homelessness, and the Supreme Court has fortified the administration's position on homelessness. The Supreme Court ruling was it's not illegal to be without a home, but it is illegal to be homeless on the street. So cities are now able to incarcerate and charge people either civilly or criminally for being on the street. Now, remember, it's not illegal to be homeless, but it's illegal to be on the street, which doesn't make any damn sense. But then homeless people, we think, oh, homeless people, they're all drug addicts and they're all going to kill you and stab you. They are between 10 and 40 times more likely to be a victim of a crime than to be a perpetrator. But do we ask homeless people who are citizens of this country? We don't like homeless people because they represent our public policy failures. So we don't like them. Homeless people. A lot of times we failed them as a society and as a community, or their families failed them, and we fail families. We're about to fail families in 48 hours. Some of y'all ain't gonna eat. I'll feed as many of y'all as I can, but we're having hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. It's nothing fancy. Here's what I know. A little side note, because I've been talking about the SNAP benefits being temporarily curtailed for, I don't know, since we found out about it. Black people are not going to let other black people starve. And I know that you think that, you know, we're a terrible community and we're violent. We going to come together. I guarantee, I know we will. I'm totally convinced. I'm more worried about rural white people who don't have the proximity to nonprofits and social services and other agencies that we have in spades here in the city of Milwaukee. We are not going to let our people go hungry. I guarantee you that. In fact, we might even eat better. I'm good for a couple boxes of Kraft macaroni and some hot dogs. Don't act like you ain't ate that before. I'm going to tell you what, I've had some Kraft macaroni and some hot dogs. Thought it was the best damn meal of my life. I think we're going to be okay. But if you ask a homeless person their ideas on public safety, they're going to tell you something totally different than someone who has a house and a job and a 401k and investments. Like, they're going to have their ideas of public safety, and that person who has all of the things might think that homeless people are the problem, and they are the sources of crime when they are really the sources of victimization. So I think that we have this idea of crime and what is not safe. It's kind of messed up because we don't all see public safety the same way. A white person wants to feel safe and protected when they come to the city of Milwaukee. They want to see far more police. When they come here, right? Let's say they don't live here. I don't know why I'm thinking white people don't live in the city. A lot of white folks live here. But those who don't live here but come here for occasional things, for entertainment, concerts, festivals, whatever, they want to feel safe. And for them, they want to see a lot of police officers when they come to visit. But it's not like we can just have a whole bunch of cops for when those timid, scary people come to visit. I live in this city, and I have to live with this influx of police officers that do not make me feel safer. I don't see a cop and think, oh, what a relief. Unless I need one, then that's different. But I try not to need them. But just seeing them, because they're looking at me like I did something wrong, or I look like a suspect. I think that's the part that people don't get. If you're from somewhere else and you go to an unfamiliar city or town and you want to feel safe, you look around and you see a bunch of cops, you're like, oh, this is lovely. Yeah, but the people that live there don't want to be over-policed. I think we miss the mark in that regard. And also, the safest places that any of us have ever been, and I don't know where you've traveled to, maybe places even in Milwaukee County, southeastern Wisconsin, other places in Wisconsin, if you've traveled to a place that is deemed safe, where they have low incidences of crime, you don't see a lot of cops. But we have this, it's a misconception, but it also plays into a narrative. The more police there are, the safer that place must be. But if you go to the safest places you've ever been, there's not a need for police. So the narrative of over-incarceration, over-policing is living and breathing in the city of Milwaukee, and I don't think that the people in this town, the people that live here, and if you don't live in Milwaukee, that's another thing I got to say. Y'all make me sick. If you don't live here, shut up. If you're from New Berlin, Elkhorn, Ashwaubenon, Muskego, Magwanaskego, if you're from those places, do your voting and do all your stuff out there. Worry about you. Worry about your city. Or you better worry about a damn data center is what y'all need to worry about. Don't worry about us. Don't chime in on our streetcar. Don't ride it. Don't ride it. You don't like stuff in Milwaukee? Good. That's perfectly okay. If you don't come here, chances are we won't miss you. Stay out there in Muskego, Magwananamago, Oconomowoc. Go ahead. You don't stop chiming in on what we do here. You don't live here. You don't pay taxes here. You don't vote here. Shh. Nobody cares what you think. Do you think that me and my black friends sit around and talk about the horrible output in Ashwaubenon's public schools? Couldn't care less. Like, oh, did you hear about that stabbing in Oconto County way up north? Don't care. But they, for some reason, it's like a fetish they have for Milwaukee. Oh, my God, and Milwaukee's got all this and it's got all that. Shut up. Your community doesn't have everything that it needs either, so maybe that's where you should put your focus. Or you really secretly love Milwaukee, don't you? Because you came here one night in college. You had the time of your life and you wish you could live here, but your parents would be so mad. Your parents would disown you if you stayed with the dark side of Milwaukee. But they always have something to say about us. You know what the problem is, though, and there's a lot of problems, outstate Republican elected officials will legislate to punish the city of Milwaukee, but they do it for different reasons. They do it because if you stifle the economic engine of the state, then this very blue, very democratic city and county will not realize its full potential. And if we are not realizing our full potential, meaning if we can't make decisions that are in the best interest of Milwaukee and our decisions are being outsourced by Republican assembly reps and state senators from somewhere else, they have a tremendous amount of power over our money and over our budgets. They know that if they take funding away, if they take resources away, we won't realize our full potential. And if Milwaukee is not realizing its full potential, and this is the other thing, when outstate people think they know what is best for this city, we end up paying the price for that because they are unfamiliar with what we do here. If I could communicate one thing to people, if you were not intimately familiar with this town, how it works, how we want legislation to impact our lives, what we prioritize, you're not qualified to talk about this town, especially when it comes to public safety, because your idea of public safety in this city is not the same as ours. If you are not from Milwaukee, please stop telling me what Milwaukee is, what it isn't, and what it needs. And by all means, stop telling us how we need to address our issues in this city. Take a break, come back. Said I was going to do some incarceration numbers. I'll just give you a snapshot of that on the other side. Shall we? I think so. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
June 2022, Southeast Wisconsin. A distracted driver killed 3 people, and in that single moment, it affected many more. The grandmother.
And my heart sank. Their lives are forever lost.
Pastor.
That was the most difficult day of my entire ministry.
Sister.
I lost my best friend.
Distracted driving affects everyone. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Join us for the Greater Milwaukee Urban League's annual Black and White Ball on November 1st at the Bear Center. This elegant evening supports vital programs in employment, education, and economic opportunity for our community. Enjoy an unforgettable performance by national recording artist Sean Hinton and step out in your finest black and white attire and be part of something transformative. It's not too late to be a sponsor or reserve your seats by visiting gmul.org. That is gmul.org. The Black and White Ball. Building brighter futures together.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Tory Lowe with his truth.
It's official. July 5th is Tory Lowe Day in the city of Milwaukee and Milwaukee County. I am humbled to receive this proclamation from the mayor's office and the county executive's office. To me, this day represents life and purpose and being driven by passion to serve and empower others. It's about being unselfish and answering the call to help those in need and living life with intention. Despite challenges and obstacles, I remain focused on creating real change in my community, county, and state. This recognition isn't about me. It's about the collective efforts of those who supported me along the way. It's about the resilience and determination that defines my journey. As we celebrate this day, I want to leave you with a challenge. What will you do to create positive change in your community? Will you get out and volunteer, mentor, or simply be a support to a friend? Whatever it is, I urge you to take action. Together we can build a brighter future, one that's filled with hope, opportunity, and empowerment. I am honored to serve, and I am grateful for this recognition. Let's continue to uplift and support one another, striving for a better tomorrow. So what does Tory Lowe Day mean to me? Let's make a difference together. Let's stay committed to our purpose and keep pushing forward even in the face of adversity. I'm excited to see the impact we can make, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve alongside such an amazing community. Now, my question is, what does Tory Lowe Day mean to you?
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Tory Lowe Show weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
JD says, is hot dogs and Kraft mac and cheese with Sherwin gonna be an event? Will there be drinks there? Oh, of course there will be. Have a party. Hot dogs and Kraft macaroni and cheese. You know what? No. Y'all were out last Friday. A bunch of y'all that listen to this program affectionately named the Peanut Gallery. And you guys didn't even invite me. You did your own Beyond the Mic event and didn't even invite the one that Beyond the Mic. So I'm not throwing no events for y'all. Why don't y'all throw an event for me? How does that sound? All right, talking about public safety. I think we have different perspectives and opinions on public safety, and this is why I don't think anyone is safer. Because if you're afraid of black people, a lot of white people are afraid of black people, even though we should be afraid of you. Structurally and institutionally, white people have done more with their organizing power and their political power to just stifle, even if it's a little bit, black progress than we have ever done to them. Like, what have we ever done to white people? We just don't have time. You know what I mean? It's just not really worth it for us. So if you ask a white person what Milwaukee needs to be safe, that white person's like, here's what I need to feel safe when I come there to buy my dope. Which does not bode well for us because they have electoral power that created a Republican majority in the Wisconsin State Senate and the Wisconsin State Assembly. But that is soon to be eroded. Now, it depends on how the midterm elections look in 2026. But for a while, that Republican majority, because of the same gerrymandering that Donald Trump ordered in Missouri, I think Arkansas is one, Texas is another, there's a few other states, created the Republican majorities in the legislature here in the state of Wisconsin, which has a disproportionately negative impact on the city of Milwaukee. And when the city of Milwaukee is not doing well, if crime is going up and poverty is going up and joblessness is going up, sometimes it can be attributed to, like, decay, obviously, like moral decay, there's some of that. But also if our money that we contribute to state government in the form of our taxes, our income taxes and our sales taxes, which a lot of that comes from the city of Milwaukee. If some of that money is not given back to us for us to invest it in areas that Milwaukee people believe will make this city safe, if we're not getting that flow of money back here, we can't invest it in what we know works, then the city is going to get worse. And then the Republicans can say, oh, look at Milwaukee, look how terrible it is, even though they put together, they're the architects of plans to stifle the progress of this city. It's similar to just what white supremacy has done in general to black people. Let's make sure they're not successful. And the question is, like, what are we even going to do with success besides make you richer? That's the problem. I'm so confused. And maybe it's because I'm at a place mentally where I just see the repetitive ignorance of racism, because it actually hurts white people too. When I talked about, everybody always is fascinated by this, that the institution of slavery actually economically harmed white people as bad, if not worse, than black people. Now, slavery probably sucked. No, probably it did. But being jobless, penniless, landless, and probably toothless, and being white because the slave had your employment, that sucks too. No one's going to hire the white peasant because the slave master has purchased the slave, so why would I pay you a wage? And I'll pay a few of you to watch my slaves, you see. But hundreds or thousands of you will go without work because slave masters could purchase their own workforce and then loan or rent their labor to cities and to towns to build infrastructure where those white men got no employment whatsoever. So slavery, the institution itself, actually created an entrenched sense of desperation and poverty amongst white Southerners, and they're still mad at us. Talking about, the South will rise again. No, it won't. It's actually sinking and going to get flooded. It's not. The South is not going anywhere but down. So, and it's so frustrating because there's a need to depress and suppress African-American progress. And it's also the same ignorance that says, we got to get all the migrants out of this country. For what? So no one can do their jobs? So we have literally nobody working and paying into Social Security? And we take them out of here so you can do what? What job did they take? They didn't take a job that you didn't even apply for. You looking at on where people look for jobs? Indeed, Glassdoor, Glass Ceiling. Hi, we're hiring lettuce pickers. You just scroll right past that. But then Juan and Paco want to come over here and we'll pick the lettuce. We'll pick the lechuga. That's okay. We come over here, we pick it. That's okay. And then they come over here and they pick lettuce real good. They pick the freshest lettuce. Iceberg. Bib. Buttercrisp. They pick it so good. And then Donald Trump is like, get out of here. You got to leave. And they're like, well, all we're doing is we're going and picking lettuce. And now we can't. And now when you go to the Sizzler, or when you go to Applebee's, like, hi, I'll have a salad. And then Sizzler and Applebee's like, oof, we ain't got no lettuce. You see what I mean? Like, it doesn't even pan out. It's so damn stupid. But stifling the progress of the migrant. At the same time, the United States calls itself a nation of immigrants. Like, you're proud of that. But then when people immigrate over here and want to do the same thing that your family did, your great, great, great whoever that came over here on the Ellis Island, when somebody else wants to do that, you get mad at them. All right, let's see what we got here. From the U.S. Sentencing Project. They report the United States has the highest rate of life imprisonment in the world, with nearly 200,000 people serving life sentences. That seems unusually high, and you would think that with 200,000 people, that's a fifth of a million people never getting out of jail, we would live in a very safe country. But I don't know if it's safer because of that. The U.S. prison population did see a decline for a decade, but began to rise again in 2022. Other statistics include significant racial disparities in both youth and adult incarceration rates, with Black and other minority groups being disproportionately affected. Women are more likely to be incarcerated for drug offenses than men. Well, ladies. Thought I heard a rattling in your purse as you were walking down the hallway. Oh, you know what? The Washington Post did a story on this some years ago. Maybe I pull it up. Maybe I won't. Chances are I won't. They're starting in like 2000. So when states started to legalize marijuana one by one, started in California in 1996, Proposition 215. Shout out to California for being this experimental hotbed of democracy. Like, California tries stuff way before everybody else does, and if it works, then it gets generalized to the rest of the country. Like, California came up with the whole car emissions thing in like the 70s, and now you have like emissions regulations now all over the country. California was like, yeah, we need to do something about the environment. Let's require cars to produce less smog, and then there you go. Now we have somewhat cleaner air because of what California did. So when marijuana started to become either illegal or decriminalized or medicinal or available recreationally, the African-American imprisonment population went way down. And what we found is that the white male imprisonment population started to go up, led by white women. Like, Black women have reduced their incarceration rate in the last 25 years by like 70-something%. But white women are filling their spots, because here's the thing that we also need to know. The private prison industry, a lot of money, a couple $1 billion, right? So if a company is going to spend, I don't know, however many millions of dollars to build a correctional facility, they need bodies in it, because they then charge the state, or they charge the feds for every person that's incarcerated in that facility. And they are going to lobby to have stricter laws and more laws to keep those beds filled. And I think it's counterproductive, because as I'm looking at these numbers, 200,000 people serving life sentences. And here's the thing. Some people deserve a life sentence. They do. But I don't like the racial disparity. Because remember, the theme of this nation is let's do whatever we can to stifle the progress of Black people, because I don't know. I guess that's what I don't understand is that if Black people have the opportunity to have legitimate jobs and careers, right? A lot of times we don't want to mess that up by breaking the law. But if this nation provides for us the same opportunities and pathways and resources and investing in our children like we do in other children, that would reduce the need for all of this heavy-handed policing and public safety would kind of remedy itself. That's the part I don't get, because they think that when we get successful, like, what are we going to do? Like, I'm still wondering. I wish a white person would tell me, like, why are you so afraid of Black people being successful other than just jealousy? Because all we're going to do is just buy a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, You should want black people to be successful. Population decline and recent increases. The U.S. prison population declined for over 10 years, began to rise again in 2022. The overall prison population grew by 500% in the 40 years prior to 2022, largely due to changes in sentencing laws rather than crime rates. You know what also happened in the last 40 years? Deindustrialization. A lot of factories closed and went overseas, and workforces were reduced, and we favored cheap foreign labor. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this whole concept of if someone doesn't have any money, the lengths they will go to feed their family. Well, we're about to see in about 48 hours. And so if the only options are super low wage service sector employment, or selling drugs to feed your family. Because, like, what do you do? Like, when the factory that you worked at or your father worked at, your grandfather worked at, when that factory is gone and we always thought it was going to be there and it provided really stable employment, our neighborhoods and communities were safer and much more stable, and the kids saw dad going to work with a lunchbox and a coffee thermos and a hard hat. It's not coffee in that thermos. It's gin. But whatever, they saw that. When kids see the man going to work, that's it's inspiring for the kids, right? That's a good developmental environment. But when all of that is gone, what are people going to do to feed their families, right? Especially if it's more difficult or impossible to get social services and welfare, and that requires there to be a single parent in the home. Do you see how that can be very destructive? So it's not like, in my opinion, criminality went up. The ways in which people can make legitimate money dissipated, and people are going to pay their rent some kind of way. They're going to find a way to feed their family, even if you gotta sell a little ass. You know? You ever wonder how much you could get? I mean, I'm serious. Though, do you ever wonder just like what you're worth on the market? Ladies, I know you know. But fellas, we don't really know what we could get. We're charged by the inch or by the foot. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you're so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Bucks basketball is back. A brand new season of big games, electric matchups, and unforgettable moments starts now. There's nothing like Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The energy, the thrills, the slam dunks, and buzzer-beating three-pointers. Don't miss your chance to be part of all the on-the-court, cheering crowd, fear the deer excitement. Get your tickets today at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
Contract-ready businesses, opportunity seekers, partnership builders, deal closers. Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, is focused on you. This event puts small businesses like yours in the room with buyers, partners, and mentors who can help open doors to bigger opportunities. Join us online December 9th, in person December 10th and 11th at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Whether you're in construction, looking for contracts, or a service provider ready to grow, Marketplace Wisconsin is for you. Meet one-on-one with government reps, corporate buyers, and resource providers. Small businesses like yours keep Wisconsin moving forward. Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is here to propel your growth. So join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, December 10th and 11th. Register at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com. Presented by WEDC. Let's look forward together.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
JD says, the freeway was backed up for 5 hours yesterday from a reckless driver. I still feel safe. Was a little inconvenienced. It's safe here if you mind your business. Ain't that the truth? I don't think it costs anything to mind your business. If you see like a little something going on between some people and you don't know those people, they're in a disagreement, a little bit of an argument. You know what you do? What you were doing before you saw them. A lot of times people, well, what's going on over here? What are you guys doing? Why are you guys arguing? And you get punched in the face. I know everybody wants to be a hero, but sometimes it's the person that intervenes that ends up getting hurt. And I know we want everyone to be nice in public and to get along, but I'm not, because I don't know who's in the right and who's in the wrong when I see two people arguing. I mean, I will say this much. I'll get my cell phone out just in case somebody needs some video footage. Because Tory Lowe was going to say no mo, release the video. And I'm like, oh, Tory, I have the video. So you say no mo. Here you go. So if I do see people arguing in public, I don't particularly intervene. But a lot of times just stay out of other people's mess. And that can remedy a lot of this stuff. Let's see what we got here. Prevalence of life sentences. 200,000 people are serving life sentences, which is about 1 in 6 people in prison. There's a cost associated with this, which gets kind of nebulous. But every so often, we'll come up with ideas on this program. Some are very good of what we should invest in. Like, oh, if we had this for the youth, or people will get nostalgic and say, oh, when I was growing up, we had a bunch of roller skating rinks and we had, I don't know, basketball leagues or whatever. And we'll come up with these really great ideas that could help potentially give wayward youth something to do, something to focus on. But more importantly, I think we miss this point. When we have those programs for the youth, whatever they are, that is an opportunity for an adult to mentor those kids and to impart advice to those kids and also to be an example of positivity. So, yeah, it's great. But so we come up with all these wonderful ideas and then we don't have any money to pay for it. The amount of money that we take out of public investment to incarcerate people, and we have to figure this out. And I don't know how we're going to figure it out because it's a conversation that involves math and budgets and accounting and executives and legislators and committees, and y'all don't want to hear about any of that. But some of the funding that I think could be better used, better invested in some of those programs, organic programs that we come up with. There's no money for them because we got to spend however many billions of dollars to lock people up. Now, granted, some people need to be locked up, but other people don't. Sometimes if you go to prison as a nonviolent person and you're in there with violent people and you're only doing, I don't know, maybe you're doing 18 months or 2 years, whatever, when you come out, you're a better criminal because you just been talking to people for 2 years about criminal. Like the people that are locked up for life are telling the people who are going to be out in 12 months, here's how you not get caught. Take it from me. Here's the crime that I committed. Oh, got myself caught, got a life sentence. Here's how you can do it and not get life in prison like me. Isn't there some kind of like brain trusting going on in prison? Like, I don't know. I've never been there. I don't want to go either. Knock on wood, because ain't no telling with Donald Trump. Do you know that I just found out this a list of countries that Donald Trump is deporting people to? Do you know that if you get deported, you're not necessarily going back to the country you're from? You know that that's a myth and a lie? There's 6 African countries that the Trump administration has some kind of a deal with to deport people that are here in America, quote unquote, illegally, even though you're not really illegal, you're just undocumented, and it's not a criminal offense, it's a civil one. They're sending people to Africa. I find that so interesting, ironic, and kind of scary, because remember when Donald Trump was talking about the S-hole countries and he named a bunch of African nations? Well, now they're starting with the migrants because I think there was more consensus to deport them during the last campaign. Even black people are like, yeah, get the Mexicans out of here because they're the ones responsible for racism. I don't know what our thing was with supporting Donald Trump and removing migrants, but whatever. But they were like low-hanging fruit, and also they're not citizens. They don't vote. They're not politically organized. So they're an easy target. So a lot of folks agreed, yeah, get the migrants out of here. But they're sending them to Africa. And so how these things work throughout history is you pick a group that's the most vulnerable, and you disrespect them, you violate them because they can't really do anything about it. And if you're in this country illegally, you're already insecure. So if we round you up and we don't give you due process and we ship you out of here, there's not a whole heck of a lot you can do, right? You have to rely on the American judicial system to come to your rescue. And because Trump has so much influence on that, good luck. But I think they're going to be deporting black people to African countries. So you have to start with a group that's very vulnerable, people who are already undocumented or their visas have expired. And then you get rid of a lot of them, and then America's like, okay, cool, it's not that bad. But then there's the next round of people, and I think they're moving into the next round of who's going to get deported, political dissenters, which I am, and many of us in media are political dissenters. But I find it interesting that there's some kind of deal or contract with 5 or 6 African nations to deport people. Even if you're from like El Salvador, like Abrego Garcia, they trying to send him to Liberia. So I got a feeling, black people, we're going to end up going back to Africa for free. One-way ticket. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, think you're the ultimate trivia champ?
Well, prove it against us, your favorite WTMJ host.
It's free to play. All we ask is bring a new unwrapped toy to benefit Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Or you can donate at WTMJ.com. Just text TOY to the WTMJ talk and text line.
855-616-1620. Grab your friends. Test your smarts. All while helping a great cause.
It's the WTMJ Trivia Challenge, coming to a place near you.
Check out the schedule of where we will be at WTMJ.com.
Truth Nation, it's time to elevate the conversation at our second annual Truth Summit happening Saturday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Thrive on King. This free in-person roundtable dives deep into Milwaukee's most pressing issues, from bridging the healthcare divide to rebuilding our educational pipeline. Join me, Dr. Ken Harris, and expert guests for powerful insights and lively debate you won't hear anywhere else. Reserve your spot at 1017thetruth.com. Sponsored by 1MKE and Thrive on King.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
How is it possible for somebody to be found guilty of something and serve no jail time. How is it possible that someone can get a first offense misdemeanor when it comes to marijuana here in the state of Wisconsin and can face up to 6 months in jail, but 2 men who are convicted of murder get probation? This is not what justice is about. Why does this keep happening, Truth Nation? And why does it always seem like black people die and we don't get the justice that we deserve? How should we react to this? If you commit a crime, you must do the time. If you take somebody's life, you have to pay the cost. I don't care that it was an accident, because it does not make sense to me how someone can be murdered and somehow they get no time. Even if you accidentally kill somebody, you are still a murderer, especially when you plead guilty to felony murder. Marijuana will get you more time in jail than killing somebody, especially when it comes to a black man here in America, unfortunately.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. As promised, let's go over the latest Marquette University Law School poll. Now, let me give you a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm not a particular fan of the Marquette University Law School poll because what I have found, it's not particularly accurate, but it's the one that we have. And, of course, Marquette University is here in the city of Milwaukee. Let me also say this. I know y'all get mad at me for having an opinion. Well, then just continue to be mad because I'm going to continue to have opinions. I don't really know any smart people that went to Marquette. I don't. I'm sure there's some. I just don't know them. Occasionally they have a good basketball team, but I don't want to make y'all mad. I don't want to offend you. I think Marquette is just overrated. I went to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, and look at me. Huh? Look at this. Look at all this glory. Huh? Look at me. I went to UW-Milwaukee, a real school. All right, let's see what we got here. So they asked a bunch of questions about the governor's race and issues. Not particularly shocked that you all, because I'd imagine most of you that listen to this show are at least occasional voters. We're not focused on the state's gubernatorial race just yet. Now, when David Crowley, the current 2-term Milwaukee County executive, made his announcement that he was running for governor, he made that announcement, I think in the Septembers. He came on the show and we had a conversation about it. But people have since either forgotten or put the governor's race on the back burner. And why would you be focused on that? There's so many things being thrown at us every single day. Like every day is a gift, but not a good one, because we don't know what direction our country is going in. We don't know what's going to be cut, what services are going to be eliminated. We just have no idea what the direction of the country is. And to focus on who's going to lead the state of Wisconsin a year from now is not exactly top of mind. But the Marquette University Law School did a poll, and we're going to get a snapshot of where people are on the announced candidates. Now, there's some things I want to say, some opinions that I have, but I don't. These might be bad opinions in that they're very personal, and they will probably offend you. Now more than ever, I heavily scrutinize who the hell I'm going to vote for. No more of this, I like that person. I like them. I'm going to have to vote for somebody I don't like if they are going to provide a policy agenda that works and that makes sense and that can actually come to fruition. Sometimes we're reckless and we're careless with our vote. And I'm not one of those people like, I just want you to vote. Not if you're going to vote stupid. Then don't vote. Okay, why don't we do this? If you're going to be a stupid voter, the election is on Wednesday. For not stupid voters, your election is on Tuesday, right? So not smart voters, go register on Wednesday, the day after the election, not the day before. That's when you vote. Oh, hi. Sherwin told me to come and vote today. It's Wednesday. First of all, sir, the election was yesterday. And second of all, this is a Burger King drive-thru. Oh, all right then. Sorry. There are some individuals who are running for governor on the Democratic side because Republicans right now, you're radioactive. If every Republican running for governor in the primary is going to be August of next year, if all of them are seeking Donald Trump's endorsement, you're radioactive. You're toxic. Wherever Donald Trump is going to be policy-wise a year from now, I don't want that in Wisconsin. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. So for the Republican, first of all, you have no shot of winning Milwaukee. Don't waste money here. Don't campaign here. Just don't. For your own mental health and for ours, if you're a Republican and you're seeking and maybe you get the endorsement of Donald Trump and you're running for governor here, stay away from Milwaukee. There's nothing you can offer us. And whatever it is that Donald Trump is selling now and will be selling then, we're not going to buy it. So just stay away. I don't know what coming out of this administration, especially since a bunch of y'all are about to go hungry. I mean, not my people. My people going to eat. But some of y'all that have supported Republican policies are about to starve. And some of y'all are going to find out a very important lesson. You got a whole bunch of family members that's on food stamps and your asses didn't even know it, but you're about to find out on Saturday. So whatever the Republican policy ideas are for Wisconsin, not happening. Now, amongst the Democrats, because it does make it a little bit easier, I suppose, because it's greatly narrowed down. A lot of the people who have announced their candidacies for Wisconsin governor on the Democratic side just have no shot whatsoever. And I think they're taking advantage of the current situation that we're in where the Democrats don't really have an identity. They're searching for something that can win, and an anti-Trump sentiment is not enough. It's already understood, even amongst Republicans, that being anti-Donald Trump is probably better for your household, better for the economy, better for the future, better for farmers, better for all sorts of people. But being anti-Trump is simply not enough. So of the candidates that are running on the Democratic side, I have to be able to not just relate to them in some kind of way. They have to be sensible enough and smart enough to bring over some Republican voters and moderate voters and independent voters, but also have a realistic agenda that speaks to the very diverse needs of the people in the state of Wisconsin. But Milwaukee is very specific in particular, because if we vote in a maximum number, well, between us and Madison is just Madison screws up a lot of stuff because they're not really a city based in reality, but whatever. We can decide who the next governor is going to be when we maximize our votes and our turnout in any election here, right? That's statewide. I'm going to get in trouble if I say this. Well, so I like David Crowley because I know him. You all know him. He's running the county very well. He was a great state legislator. He was my state legislator as well. I know I'm showing some bias, but he has formed relationships across the aisle. Republicans respect him. They may not like him, but they respect him. He got us a better deal when it came to raising the sales tax in Milwaukee County because we had 2 sales tax increases. One was the city of Milwaukee sales tax, which was 2%. That one hurt. Part of the reason why it feels like everything is more expensive and your money is not going as far as it used to, some of it is inflation. The other part is you're now starting to feel goods and services costing that 2.2% more since January 1st. I had to buy a car battery. First thing I purchased in the new year when the new sales tax hit. So the city of Milwaukee sales tax is 2%. The county is 10 times less. It was 0.2%. So overall, if you live in the city of Milwaukee, your sales tax increase is 2.2%. David Crowley was able to negotiate a better deal and get a lower increase in the sales tax, but also the county's finances were in better shape than the city's. So David has the ability to work with Republicans to save Milwaukee County taxpayers money. I like saving money now. Now, this is not a strike against the mayor, but the mayor got outflanked, and he got out-negotiated. And we ended up paying for that, and we have to have a certain number of police officers in the city of Milwaukee. Like, the county doesn't have to have a certain number of sheriff's deputies, but we now are saddled with the burden of having a minimum number of police officers in the city of Milwaukee. Even if we, the citizens and the residents of Milwaukee, don't want those extra cops, the law says we have to have at least 1,600 or 1,700 cops. I may not want 1,600 or 1,700 cops. I don't know. Maybe I will. But not today, I don't. I think David has some life experience as well. Seen a lot of things. I think he'd be a good representative. I am not necessarily including the fact that David Crowley is African American, but I'm also not discounting it either. Knowing what I know about the whites, which is more than they know about us, it's going to be hard. There's an Asian lady who's running. Her name is Francesca Hong. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not going to vote for the Asian lady because she's an Asian and a lady, but how the hell can you relate to me? And she's a Bernie Sanders person, too. She's like, oh, socialism, something, working class. I raise an eyebrow to that because the working class socialism people sidestep the impact of race. And to me, it's intellectually lazy because nobody wants to deal with the impact of race. Because if you deal with the impact of race, you've got to go back several hundred years of oppression in this country and begin to unravel that, and they don't want to do it. So they just say, oh, a lot of black people are working class. You need to join our socialism movement because you're a working class like all of these other white people. Nah, you don't get a shortcut with me. And I think that Francesca Hong, she's got the highest name identification of the announced Democrats, and it's only at 6%. 81% of the voters that were sampled by the Marquette University Law School poll are undecided. So with 81% of the people clearly not paying attention and undecided on who they're going to vote for governor, literally a year from now, Francesca Hong being in the lead with 6% is not significant at all. What is more significant is that the current lieutenant governor, if I asked you all, without Googling, don't Google. I can't even ask people questions anymore and test their knowledge because if you don't know the answer to a question, you just go to the Googles. If I asked you who the current lieutenant governor is, I bet most of you couldn't tell me. See, now you're all looking it up because you don't know who the hell she is. See, that's a problem. If you don't know who Governor Tony Evers' number 2 person is, that doesn't bode well for that person in their desire to become the next governor. But when I say this name, Mandela Barnes, you know him. And when Mandela Barnes was lieutenant governor, you knew it. Everybody knew it. Mandela made sure of it. But that's what you're supposed to do as lieutenant governor because you have no job title. Here, I'm going to give you the job description for the lieutenant governor. Are you ready? I'm going to do a countdown from 5. And when I get to 1, I'm going to give you a 5-second description of what the lieutenant governor does because I want you guys to know what these different positions do because there's going to be a race for lieutenant governor as well. So I'm going to count down from 5. And when I get to 1, I'm going to give you my best, most accurate textbook description of what the lieutenant governor does here in the state of Wisconsin. Now, in other states, their lieutenant governors may do other things, but we're not other states. We're Wisconsin. We're a state shaped like an oven mitt. Okay. So when I get to 1, I'm going to give you a description of what the lieutenant governor does. All right, you ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait for the governor to die. And scene. That's what the lieutenant governor does. So you can do whatever you want as lieutenant governor. You can go to house parties on college campuses. You can moonlight as a stripper. Nobody says you can't. Up next, Lieutenant Governor on the stage. You can go and raise money for other Democrats. You can travel the country. You can promote a political agenda. You can do whatever you want. And for Sarah Rodriguez to have done none of that, and we don't know her. And I remember inviting her to my radio program. She got elected lieutenant governor in 2022. Nothing. Which is cool. Like, if I invite you and you don't want to come, I'd rather you not come, quite honestly. But here's what's crazy. So And I know who is managing her campaign, known this dude for like 20 years. So I invited her to the program because I wanted her to get familiar with, you all and the listeners of this program and just get familiar with talking to us so we can get familiar with her too because she's a lieutenant governor, right? So she never replied to my requests, which is weird because I could send an email to Tony Evers' scheduler and get an email response back within 10 or 15 minutes and get a list of dates in which Tony Evers would either appear in studio with me or certainly on the phone. They have never denied a request, and that's the damn governor, okay? But the lieutenant governor ignored my request. But when my ass was in the hospital, guess who sent me Sherwin, I hope you get well soon. I'm thinking of you. See, she only sent me that card because she knew she was running for governor. Sorry, Sarah, I don't work like that, boo. You know what I mean? Take a break, come back. Probably should give you a few more details, like actual numbers and percentages of name identification of those individuals who have announced that they are running for governor, even though statistically and factually, none of you even care right now who's running for governor. We're going to talk about it anyway. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. Milwaukee Panthers basketball is back. On Monday night, the Milwaukee Panthers welcome in the Hampton University Pirates to UWM Arena.
Saves with 2, Stillwell with 1. Baseline leaner is good. They used every ounce of the shot clock, and Jermichael Stillwell finished it off inside.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 5 and 20%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. Visit amfam.com to learn more. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Gina Della and her team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always have the winning game plan. Check out the championship caliber play call this month. A whole house of beautiful, new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month, and get this, 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's like running a drive that keeps moving the chains with no penalties and no interest. And I can tell you from my experience, Pella windows actually stop the drafts. You'll stay comfortable no matter how cold it gets outside. Think about it. Energy savings, comfort, and a great monthly payment you can actually manage. That's why I trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and why this is the right time to make your move. Call today and schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 10/31 of 2025.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
Don't let a trade-in get in the way of the phone you want. Now you can get $1,000 off any phone with no trade-in required, and we'll pay off your current contract when you switch. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
A vast majority of Wisconsin voters say they're undecided heading into next year's open race for governor, according to a new Marquette University Law School poll released yesterday. The numbers, unsurprising to poll director Charles Franklin, showed 70% of Republican primary voters and 81% of Democratic voters said they were undecided ahead of the November 2026 election. So something I'm noticing just right away. The Republican primary voters are 11% more decided than Democratic voters. meaning the Republican, my opinion, this is my assessment now, I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Republican primary voters are less concerned about what is going on right now in front of their faces right now in this moment than Democrats are. That tracks because the Democrats have a whole lot of stuff to be worried about. 81% of Democratic voters are not yet decided ahead of the November 2026 election, but 70% of Republican primary voters are. That's still the vast majority of voters still not really caring all that much. In the hypothetical Republican primary race, given the candidates who have officially entered, Representative Tom Tiffany, Trumper, received 23% of support. Washington County Executive Josh Showman, Trumper, received 6%, and 70% said they were undecided on those two. Among the Democrats, State Representative Francesca Hong received 6%. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez received even less than that, and Sarah Rodriguez is a current statewide elected official and the incumbent lieutenant governor. She only got 4%. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley received 3%. State Senator Kelda Roys received 3%. And former Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation CEO Missy Hughes, no relation, received 2%. Let me tell you something, Missy Hughes. With that last name, you're going to go far. Just saying. Last name like Hughes. It's even spelled correctly, too. It's spelled E-S. The correct way to spell Hughes is H-U-G-H-E-S. You would be surprised at how many people cannot pronounce Hughes. You'd be surprised at how many people can't say Sherwin. Y'all need to read better and listen and do reading comprehension exercises well into your 50s. Sherwin is not a hard name to say. I mean, it's a lot of consonants. Sherwin. You got to use your entire mouth, and some of y'all know how to use your mouths real good. Oh, look who's on line one. Hi, Al. How are you? You're on 101.7 The Truth.
I'm doing wonderful, and I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I know you brought up, when like a lot of black people was getting on migrants. Unfortunately for a lot of black people, they have always been upset with migrants because, they have, we come in many shades of color and, our hair is somewhat nappy. And when it comes to migrants, they have the skin color and hair. So, when it comes to anybody with the skin color and hair coming to the United States, they're always going to be put over black people. The other thing I wanted to share with you, majority of the black people that I knew who was crying about migrants was broke. They was broke before the migrants got here. They was broke while they're here, and even after migrants gone, they're still going to be broke because them same black people made a lot of effed up decisions in their life. And you can always tell because they either going about how somebody's getting a rent paid or food stamps. Why would you care? If you're the resource, why would you care what the migrants do? The migrants ain't thinking about you. You should be concentrating on your own household, but you're not. People and white privilege. And some of them still have some effed up lifestyles and effed up upbringings. And if you have white skin color and white privilege and you still struggling, either you're giving your money to the dope man or your man taking all your money, or you're just lazy and you're mediocre, which basically means you're not good for sugar honey iced tea and you just on that grown people bull sugar honey iced tea. You should not have no problems if you're white and you have white privilege. So I needed to share that information because I know somebody's going to call in and challenge it. But remember, a lot of white people are very jaded and very bitter because you could be sitting on the toilet with diarrhea, bloop, 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 and they still can complain about something you did. The bathroom is funky, you holding your nose, and they're still complaining. And the same with black people with the migrants. I don't know why y'all getting mad with the migrants. The migrants doing what they supposed to do. They work together. It ain't 10 people in the house with a whole bunch of checks. And the food is gone and they still got disconnection notices. I'm not picking on my black people. I'm just picking on the ones who are always crying about migrants. I don't give a damn what a migrant do, because I'm the resource. If I need something, I know how to go get it from somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife. I don't got to sit there and twirl my fingers to get mad what's going on in somebody else's household. But if y'all took that time and invested in yourself and became the resource, you wouldn't care what nobody be doing because you would be already getting it. And so I'm going to go on and just close it out with this. Y'all have a good day. But I was going to ask you tomorrow, but I'm going to ask you right now. Why is it every time when it comes to the Republican Party, there's always an attachment to either a baby being molested and being recorded, somebody in the church touching on a girl, or some 6-year-old boy named Joey, being a 6-year-old boy, Joey, being effed in his ass? Because these Republicans call in all the time with this bull sugar honey iced tea, but they never talk about that. And I'll just hang up and listen.
Okay.
Because boys can't get pregnant. Okay.
All right, then. That's some biology for everyone to study. I don't have an answer for your very particular and specific question, Al, so I don't know. And Al always thinks that a Republican is going to call into my show and, like, defend stuff. Not really. We only have... How many Republicans do I even get to call into? Like 3? 2 of them are gay men, which makes 0 sense whatsoever. Allen, who is a conservative. You guys know Alan Beckman. He also is attempting to recall alderwoman of the 1st District, Andrea Pratt. Alan is also married to an African-American woman, but he is a diehard Trump Republican conservative. Alan's been calling me for like 10 years. Haven't heard from him much lately because I had to put some boundaries around him, because he'll call in and just like want to chat, which is flattering, but at the same time kind of weird, because people like that show up in my house, and that's not good for everybody. But I told Alan if he was going to call in, he had to give us updates from the recall that he initiated. He filed all the paperwork and did all the things to try and force an election, which would be the recall election of Andrea Pratt, because he is upset with her because of a development deal that took place before she was even elected. So he thinks the remedy is to recall her, but whatever. So he hasn't called lately because we know that his recall is not going to succeed. And I think I made mention of that on the front end, because whenever emotion is behind what should be a logical decision, you're going to lose, right? If you're, I'm really super mad at somebody. Like, people were really super mad at Scott Walker because of Act 10, and they did okay. They forced the election, but ultimately Scott Walker got reelected in that recall because it was an emotional response to public policy. And I just wish that people would have learned. There are going to be, when you vote for a Republican, when a Republican gets elected, because of how far they will go to stifle those that don't vote Republican. So think, I don't know, a lot of times it's women and people of color, minorities, black people. Republicans will go so far to stifle the progress of like 54% of the country that they actually end up hurting white people too. And there's always going to be consequences when a Republican gets elected. And this holds true for the last like 60 years of history. If you vote for a Republican because of how they're going to harm other people, your ass is going to get harmed too. Or you're going to be paying for, out of your pocket, the harm to be done to other people, which is always going to come back and get you as well. And there's going to be consequences, unintended consequences, what I'm going to call political collateral damage when you vote for a Republican. Now, when you vote for a Democrat, there's going to be political collateral damage too. Everyone is going to do better. There's going to be less debt. There's going to be more investment in people, more investment in education, more investment in healthcare, more investment in infrastructure, more investment in technology. We're going to have better relations with foreign leaders. America's going to be leading on the world stage again. Those are some of the political collateral consequences when you vote for a Democrat. But because Republicans have branded themselves as, we're going to harm these people that you also don't like. No, you can't say the N-word anymore, but if you vote for me and I get elected as a Republican, I'm going to legislate and execute the N-word in public policy. And here's what some of y'all are going to find out. Some of y'all are N-words too. Oh, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it, white people being in a minority. It's going to suck. And the problem is, it's going to suck for you forever because it's not like y'all are making a comeback. No offense. Don't be offended by that. It's fine. You'll be okay. Well, I mean, we made it as minorities for these couple few hundred years. Y'all will be all right. Learn from us. Well, here's the good news. When the whites become the minority, and this is not me like celebrating it or gloating it. This is just me being objective about demography, which is science. Here's the good news. Once you get comfortable in your minority status, your music is going to improve greatly. And your dancing ability is going to go absolutely through the roof. It is. Now, I fear that once us black people, we become the majority. I guess if we become the majority, like, what does that mean for our music? Is all of our music going to sound like the Violent Femmes, I'm wondering? Are we just going to be singing a lot more country songs, a lot more folk music when black people... Hey, shorty, it's your birthday. Yo, shorty, it's your birthday. So it won't be a new black rapper. Once we get in the majority, he won't be called 50 Cent. He'll be called Half Dollar. Go short. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Milwaukee, are you ready to make your neighborhood shine? Join 1MKE's Neighborhood Task Force, where neighbors come together to build stronger, more connected communities in Washington Park, Washington Heights, Clark Square, and Walker's Point. Come share a meal and share your ideas and share your voice. This is your chance to shape the future of your neighborhood. Don't miss out. RSVP today on Eventbrite. Search 1MKE Neighborhood Task Force and join the movement to make Milwaukee stronger together. 1MKE, one voice, one community, one future.
Your home has been working hard for you. Now it's time to let it work a little harder. With a home equity line of credit from Brewery Credit Union, you can turn the equity you've built into smart solutions. Pay off high-interest debt, remodel your kitchen, or take care of life's unexpected expenses with flexible access to funds when you need them. Apply today and put your home's value to work for you. Visit brewerycu.com or stop by Brewery Credit Union. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our black and brown donors, it probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just a what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Whole city lock in. Sherwin speak facts, let the real talk begin. Mind like a weapon, every word cut clean. Your host, favorite host, the mic God supreme. No one match the brain, no one match the vibe. Milwaukee truth teller, yeah, we feel that pride. When the people need sense, he the one they call. Sherwin Hughes on the line, that's power, y'all. He the voice.
833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Oh, looky, Christmas cookie. Hello, Linda.
Good morning, Professor. Good morning to all the beautiful, good-hearted, black and white people of Milwaukee and America. Sherwin, hey, guess what? I have a question, a lot of questions. But, okay, since SNAP is ending, and a lot of single mothers rely on SNAP, can those single mothers petition the court for more child support?
Hey, relax.
Because,
hold on.
Because,
no, wait a minute. No, that ain't the daddy's problem. No. When they gonna do that? Relax. That is between that mother and the father of those children. Now, but to answer your question, Linda, yes, but the fathers can also petition the court to get the child support reduced. So, double-edged sword. You know what a lot of men do? Quit their jobs and do stuff on the side, so they basically have no income, and so then that child support becomes a much lower number. So it's a calculated risk. And SNAP, it's not ending, it's just on hold until the government reopens with a spending bill. But no one is going to go hungry in our community because the number of agencies and nonprofits that do a whole bunch of other things in this city are all going to transition and shift over to food distribution. I guarantee it. MPS is now going to start distributing meals. Nobody here is going to go hungry. Now, people, they're not going to be reckless now with their benefits. That's for sure. But ain't nobody going to starve here.
Yeah, when you mentioned MPS, and this is a topic, that I've noticed on the news that, children can't afford, families can't afford children's lunch. And I just think that is so egregious because the federal government allowed them, a child their educational, stipend, but why are children paying for lunch, man? This is such a disgrace. So anyway, I want to go on and say this too. Not a lot of children pay for
lunch, Linda. Most, 80% of kids at MPS are on free or reduced lunch. So 20% that pay is the kids who can afford to pay.
Yes, but that's because they are charged. There should be no charge, is what I'm saying. That lunch should be a part of the educational package, is what I'm saying. But because I do know that, yes, a lot of kids get free lunch and reduced lunch, but I'm just saying it should not even be that. Lunch should be a part of their educational package. So I wanted to move on and say that, you do have an effect on your listeners more so than just, me going out with my ass out. I did think that your idea for ordering your home supplies and stuff, so I've incorporated that in my budget going forward, ordering that for a 3-month supply of your toiletries and your household cleaning supplies instead of going, every week or every 2 weeks. That's a waste of money and gas, and I thought, let me do that. So I incorporate a lot of things that you do and suggest on the show. And as far as our our chat BTM that we had a couple weeks ago, or
last Friday.
Let me say this. Yeah. Let me say this.
I seen you laying on JD's lap. I seen you all laid out, Linda. I seen you now.
Let me say this. I'm trying to tell you, if I can say this, because JD and Al is coochie connoisseurs. I'm trying to they are coochie connoisseurs, And sexperts.
What?
Men, you get it? Sexperts, you get it? Experts and squirt and all of that stuff. But yeah, because they was laying down some stuff, some knowledge. And I said, boy, I tell you, if I was like 30 years younger, we would definitely be rolling in this city, for real. Because, I mean, like I said, I came from a very, religious background. And so a lot of things I didn't get to experience. So that's why a lot of profanity comes out now because, I'm an angry black woman because I feel like a lot of things have been suppressed, oppressed, and suppressed because of religion and religious organizations. And so when you come into knowledge and the awareness of reality, you get really angry. Like Bernard said, you can't be not angry in America and be black, for real. So that's my contribution today, Sherwin.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So she started off giving me what I thought was going to be a wonderful compliment. Like, oh, Sherwin, you have a positive impact on your listeners, and not just me going to take my garbage out with my ass hanging out. I now buy in bulk. Do you know how hard I work to read stuff and to research stuff and to get all the facts and the data and the statistics? Do you understand that I get here hours every day before this show to hope that I can, in fact, change some minds or provide necessary information so people can make much more informed decisions? And for this woman to, first of all, say that JD and Al are coochie connoisseurs. There's that. Let's not forget about that part, okay? Let's not forget. But, oh, Sherwin, I now buy in bulk and I have my ass out in public. So that's what I do. That's how I influence. That's why the white folks here in management is always on me, because I hope I'm not influencing the white folks to do that. Hey, Sherwin, nice to meet you. I'm very glad that I was able to come to your event. Here, look at my ass. It's hanging out, courtesy of you. You want to slap it? No, sir, I do not. But it's only hanging out because they listen to you. We'll have a whole ass-out convention. Hi, we're Sherwin's listeners. We're having an annual at the Baird Center. Can't get in unless that ass is out. Face down, ass up. I want to go home. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Actually, you know what? No, we got Aaron, right? We'll talk to Aaron. Let's talk to Aaron. Hi, Aaron. How are you doing, Aaron?
Hey, not too bad. How are you doing, sir?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, that's on a day-to-day basis. That's why we pray to the Holy Spirit every single day to help us out, right?
Amen. What's on your mind, Aaron?
Well, I'm just, I think that, of course we're not going to agree on everything, but I listen to your show on a daily basis, and I think you bring up a lot of good points. I think, with you bringing up white people and black people and, white people being the minority, if white people don't watch out, it's going to happen. And to me, I'm going, hey, listen, we started out in Africa back in, before Jesus was born. So how we got here is because of Africa, and I've been doing a lot of research, and I read the Bible every day and try and learn. And, of course, I listen to you and listen from the other side. I think it's important to hear from somebody's side on either black or white or Mexican, Puerto Rican. I've been in different countries serving in the United States Marine Corps, so you have to see it from everybody's point of view. But I agree with a lot of what you say. I think how you say it, however, is not how I would say it, but I know what your point is on a lot of different topics. But I just want to say that, when it comes down, the biggest thing is this with anything, is that the government screwed up everything. Those people screwed it up. And the people here, whether it be, again, white, black, or other, it just seems like, we're, whether it be black or white, we're suffering what the government is doing. And until that we get on the same page, relying on Christ versus on each other, and of course, I'm sure you're familiar with the Bible, at least I would hope so, is that, the Bible says, God says that Jesus Christ says, hey, rely on me, not on each other. And, going through a kidney transplant about 2.5 months ago, that's what I did. And I've been relying on the Holy Spirit all my life, even when I was in Iraq and, my buddies got killed. It's still we have to rely on him and not each other. So when it comes down to school choice and SNAP and everything else, I read about all this. And it's, you look at the government, and, we have both black and white and people from Hawaii in the government. And until those knuckleheads come together, we're going to reap what we sow, who we put in government, and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to say that I think you keep on going with what you're saying. Like I said, the only thing I'd prefer a little bit different is how you say it. But I know we each have our way of saying things, and so do I. So, okay. But I just want to say, keep up the good work, and I think that's important.
And good luck to you on your recovery, sir. We appreciate you and appreciate
you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, then.
Well, God bless you, and you take care.
Okay, now, Aaron. Shout out to Aaron. Aaron took us on a little bit of a ride. As I'm in the military, and I went to Iraq. I got a new kidney. Black and white people. School choice. Aaron said shout out to him, man. There was one thing in particular that he said that just, I don't know, when I listen to phone calls, I don't think that I listen the same way you all do. He was like, and the people in our government, he's like, there's black people and white people and people from Hawaii. Look how many Hawaiians are there. There's blacks and whites and somebody from Samoa. All right, then. Okay, let's read the Bible, everybody. Should we do a little Bible study in today? Okay, maybe not. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Get ready for a breath of fresh air with Community Heartbeat, your go-to show for health and wellness in our vibrant city. Presented by Outreach Community Health Centers and hosted by me, Sherwin Hughes. Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. as we take you on a journey toward a healthier Milwaukee. Community Heartbeat is not just a show, it's a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness. We've got expert interviews, inspiring stories, and the inside scoop on local events from Outreach Community Health Centers that will keep your heart pumping with positivity.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Gina Della and her team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always have the winning game plan. Check out the championship caliber play call this month. A whole house of beautiful, new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month, and get this, 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's like running a drive that keeps moving the chains with no penalties and no interest. And I can tell you from my experience, Pella Windows actually stop the drafts. You'll stay comfortable no matter how cold it gets outside. Think about it. Energy savings, comfort, and a great monthly payment you can actually manage. That's why I trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and why this is the right time to make your move. Call today and schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 10/31 of 2025.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
On the Republican side, 70% of Republican primary voters said they had not made up their minds. Among the rest, Tom Tiffany received 23%, while Showman, what's his first name? I don't know, whatever it is. Tim Showman was at 6%, and Mansky received less than half a point. Among the Democrats, 81% are undecided, and no candidate cracked single-digit support. Francesca Hong was at 6%. Sarah Rodriguez, the current lieutenant governor, is at less than that, at 4%. David Crowley at 3%. Kel DeRoy's 3%. Missy Hughes, 2%. And whoever this person is, I can't even pronounce their last name. If I can't pronounce your last name, you're not going to become governor. Stranad is at half a point, and Brett Husley had no support whatsoever. The poll did not include former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, who has been weighing a bid for the Democratic nomination. Quote, "We are far from knowing who the frontrunner is in the Democratic primary," Charles Franklin said. Meanwhile, 84% of voters surveyed said they didn't have an opinion of Chris Taylor, the liberal candidate running for the state Supreme Court in April. And 85% didn't have one of Maria Luzar, the conservative. Charles Franklin said he didn't ask a head-to-head question with the two candidates because he anticipated they would be poorly known. Taylor, a former Dem lawmaker and member of the 4th District Court of Appeals, I interviewed that lady. I knew that lady sounded familiar. The lady who's running for the Wisconsin State Supreme Court as the Democratic liberal candidate, she was on here September. She was all right. That's who my choice is. I'm going to vote for her, not the Hispanic conservative lady. What the hell kind of sense does that even make? Right now, being a Latino Republican makes as much sense as being a black gay Republican. What? How does that even work? I have become so fascinated with how someone who is like fundamentally on the opposite end of current Republican policy, how they justify being a Republican. It's fascinating to me the word salad that they got to come up with to justify why they still support Donald Trump. There was something that I came across, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and I shared it with you. It is a hallmark of intelligence of being able to change your mind when you are exposed to new information, updated information. If you knew something was true, and then you found out new information that took away your old belief, because your information that you had was outdated, really intelligent people have the ability to change their mind and say, oh, no, I got new information. I got updated information. Now my belief has changed. It is a hallmark of people who are less intelligent, even when presented with new information, new data, that is more accurate, that is more up-to-date, that is more current. They still maintain their old frame of mind. And a lot of times what I hear, and this is when I hang up on people, I think when Al from Sherman Park called last, I asked him something about whatever Trump was doing on that particular day, and then he was like, well, Barack Obama did it too. The only thing that Barack Obama did that Donald Trump did was get elected. The similarities stop there. It just makes me feel like I have a lot more work to do. And clearly, by today's telephone calls, I have a lot more work to do. Linda said she is now influenced to have her ass out. First of all, let me clear something up. I don't walk around with my ass out. However, the other day I was putting a coat of spray wax on the vehicle, and I have cameras on the side of my house. And as I'm putting the spray wax on my vehicle, my security cameras caught me putting the coat of spray wax on my vehicle, you see. And I had to bend down to get the bottom part of the door to cover that in spray wax, you see. And I happened to look at the camera footage of myself bending down at the waist, getting the bottom part of my door with the spray wax, and I didn't tie my sweatpants tight enough because they got a drawstring. Because I'm at home. I'm at the house. I'm in the driveway now, putting a coat of spray wax on the vehicles, you see. And I knew that when I was putting the spray wax on the vehicle, I felt a little drafty. But I don't care because when I'm at home, like, my mind is so free and so clear because I'm comfortable at home. I'm relaxed at home. And so when I looked at the footage that my security camera caught of me putting the spray wax on the vehicle, and plus I wanted to see what my shiny vehicle looked like through the security camera, my ass was absolutely out. But that wasn't on purpose. I didn't say, oh, let me pull my pants down to my ankles while I'm putting spray wax on my vehicle. It's just because I didn't tie my drawstring. And so I don't really have a lot of ass. For those of you that know me, you know, I don't got no junk in my trunk. My trunk is junkless. So when you have ass, is this what Aaron was talking about when he said that he agrees with me on things, but he wouldn't say things the way that I say them? Was this what he was referring to? So I'm looking at my security camera footage. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what people are talking about. But no, I just don't want people to think that I routinely walk around outside of my house naked. What I said was, if I'm at home, you know how you about to get in the shower? And you got to run and get something out the living room real quick. And you don't get dressed if you live alone, ain't nobody putting on clothes. I'm about to hop in the shower. So I'm shower ready. But I don't know, I had to grab something out the living room, or I went in there to turn the TV off. I don't know what the hell I did, and I wasn't dressed. And sometimes my shades are open. And so all I'm saying is, if I'm at home and I'm walking through my house and I'm shower ready, if you get a little peek, then you get a little peek. You're welcome. That's all I was saying. I don't want people to think I'm a nudist. I've had nudists on the show before. I've taken my shirt off on the air before. I've done that. Showed y'all a little nipple. But no, I don't want anyone to think that I'm a nudist. I still believe in covering up your kibbles and your bits. That's not for the public to see. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for Hour 3.
This is 1017 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform. And on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Truth Nation, it's time to elevate the conversation at our second annual Truth Summit happening Saturday, November 15th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Thrive on King. This free in-person roundtable dives deep into Milwaukee's most pressing issues, from bridging the healthcare divide to rebuilding our educational pipeline. Join me, Dr. Ken Harris, and expert guests for powerful insights and lively debate you won't hear anywhere else. Reserve your spot at 1017thetruth.com. Sponsored by 1MKE and Thrive on King.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it, and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Dad's gonna be far side, good.
What should I do with my dress?
Do little wiggles.
The slate's coming in.
What does it feel like when you're down or having a bad day?
It feels sad, like you just don't want to do anything.
All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed supporting kids' mental health?
I had never experienced players being so down that they can't even participate.
He's just in tears in the huddle. I didn't know what to do.
Teachers need tons of help.
Kids Mental Health Foundation offers educational materials to help guide conversations with our students.
It's so important that we are constantly educating ourselves.
It's the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
The Kids Mental Health Foundation has free tools and information developed by experts because kids' mental health starts with all of us. Scan the QR code or check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our telephone number, if you have questions, comments, information you'd like to share about being a nudist, or do we call them, are they naturalists? We don't say nudists anymore. Milwaukee used to have a nude beach, actually, north of the water treatment plant. I'll tell you a story about that another time. Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017, and I also can receive text messages at that same telephone number. I'll go and check those in a second. I don't check the text messages nearly as often because a lot of you that want to give your commentary on the topics of the day, you go to YouTube, which I would suggest you do as well. You can go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe. We're on our way to a big subscriber number, so help us get to that number. So subscribe, and then you also will be able to chat amongst the esteemed and very intelligent Peanut Gallery. In the meantime, let's talk to Sherman. Sherman, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing this morning?
Doing good. What's on your mind?
All right. Sure. One of the things I wanted to ask, or if you ever noticed this, notice that anytime you ask a Republican, especially a black Republican, to answer a serious question, they can never do it. When Barack Obama was president, all these black people always say, what did he do for the black community? He didn't do anything for the black man. He didn't help us get jobs. It was always negative. But do you ever hear them ask that same question from the red dude in the White House right now? You don't. And black Republicans will go all out. They will put their head on the chopping block in a blink for this man. And he has shown time and time again that he cares nothing about black people. And I'm puzzled why some of us black folks will go all out for this man. It's as if it's right there, plain, even with facts. Every day, you probably the only person I listen to on this show. You and then the one right after you, Kyle Wallace. After that, I turn the radio off. I don't want to hear nothing else from the other two people because they, in my opinion, they're idiots. And I don't think they will ever have a face-to-face talk, because I think I'm blocked from other shows when I call and ask the question. Because just like what you had asked Sherman from Al from Sherman Park, when you asked, well, what about this person? What about that person? Okay, I'll answer that question after you answer my question. They will never do it. You ever notice that?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think I know why. So when a Democrat gets in office, a typical black Republican thinks that Democrat is supposed to do literally everything: move heaven and earth, part the Red Sea, make black people rich, give us houses, make our kids read better, change our kids' behavior, make our kids more disciplined, because they hold Democrats to this incredibly high standard. But here's the thing: when a Republican gets in office, they hold them to no standard. A Republican can do whatever they want, and like they celebrate anything that Republican does because they have no actual standard for them. But when it's the Democrat, if the Democrat doesn't change their actual life and make their life better, even though they're still making bad decisions, some of those Republicans think, oh, if a Democrat's in office, they're going to change everything I don't like about myself, because they have such a high standard for them, but they have zero standard for the Republican. I think that explains it. And plus, those Republicans have power over them to where they can't even expect a Republican in their policies to do anything for them, because they realize that is someone who is in office that they have to be submissive and subservient to, but they think that they can own and control the Democrats.
Another thing before I go to this. We talk about it's a certain person that always wants to go hard on the Democrats here in Milwaukee, the black alderman, the mayor, and all the rest of this stuff. And I'm a simple person. Again, I'm making no secret about my past. I've been in prison before. And one of the things I learned while I was in prison is to be enlightened. So I'm puzzled why some of your staff members would rather get on the radio, talk about what another person does with his butt, his mouth, and he or her coochie, whatever they decide to do, what grown people do in the bed. But we'll never have a discussion about the trash in our community. If you say the aldermen don't do anything, the aldermen can do something, and once they do it, you'll get mad about that. There's no alderman, I don't give a care, black, white, Republican, whoever, midget, they could be 1,000 feet tall. No Republican or Democrat is coming in our neighborhoods putting trash here. So how can you blame the aldermen for that, but not the people for that? How can we how can I see something, but you don't see it? And if we wanted to get on this, if we want to stay on this thing about the Democrats don't do anything, okay, if the Democrats went out and said, I'm going to fine every person, I'm going to give them a $700 fine for all the trash in their front yard, backyard, and on the streets, all the rest of this stuff, guess what they would say? Oh, you picking on the poor. We're not picking on the poor. If you want us to do better, make us. Sometimes you have to make us do better. Sometimes the way to get to a person's understanding is in his pocket. Because I know for a fact, I know some dudes who, listen, I already told you a story about the time I put my drawers in somebody's face. I did that to prove a point. If you say if you didn't put it there, you should move it there. Because I did that. No. What happened?
No, nothing. Keep going.
All right. I'm going to leave you alone for today.
Oh, all right then. Zach scratched the record. That freaked him out. I don't particularly remember that story, but I wasn't going to ask him for a refresher. So I have I have been witness to, without calling on any names, because there's a lot of people that do this. They look at the conditions in our community and they get really, really mad at the people that are in charge. And they think that an individual person has impact and power over the behaviors of other people. Okay? A lot of times it's those really, really angry people that are alderman is terrible, they're not doing anything. They have political aspirations of their own, and they tried to run for office, didn't get elected, and now they're mad at the people that do. And we know full well as black people, we are so incredibly strong and independent that nobody can tell us what to do. You could see a black person yelling at or mistreating their child in public, which is a horrible thing to do. Nobody wants to see that, especially if you're treating your child or talking to your child like they're an adult. I dare you to say something to that parent. I dare, even in a careful way, in a tactful way, say, hey, ma'am or sir, you shouldn't be talking to your child like that. That person's going to want to kill you. And we know that about ourselves. You can't tell us what to do, even if it's for our own best interest, yet we expect an alderperson, a county supervisor, a mayor, or a county executive to be able to lead us blindly. That's insane to me. And some of the people that, I know alderpersons that had to get restraining orders against some of these really angry people because, oh, you're a terrible alderperson, and I want to fight you because you don't do anything, and you keep getting elected, and blah, 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 blah. A lot of times those people that think their alderperson isn't doing anything doesn't even know what an alderperson does. They are in committees and trying to decide how we're going to spend your tax money. There's only so much they can do out in the community. What they can do is they can encourage people. They can provide information. Like if somebody needs help, if somebody needs services, your alderperson can tell you where to go. Oh, you need social services that's at the county. Oh, well, let me put you in. Oh, you need this? Well, that's a state program. Let me put you in contact with your state representative or your state senator. An alderperson cannot be and should not be responsible for the individual behaviors of people. We also think that when black people get in elevated political positions, that they're above racism. I don't understand why black folks are so damn confused about this. Because someone is in what we may consider an exalted position doesn't mean that racism and crime and stereotypes don't impact them. We're angry about crime and we think, oh, the mayor's not doing enough. Oh, the alderpersons ain't doing enough. Alderman Mark Chambers just lost his nephew to gun violence. He is a member of this community like every other alderperson, like every other elected official is. We can't think for a moment that because they're elected, that they're absolved from being hit by the issues that affect all of us. Like, that's insane to me. It makes us as black people look ignorant about public policy, and public policy has created all of the progress that we have gotten, quite honestly. All the legitimate, realized progress that we have exists because of policy, and we still in 2025 don't even know what it is and how it works. I get so frustrated with that because we have to know more than the people who are trying to oppress us. Otherwise, they're going to continue to win. We are in a knowledge war, ladies and gentlemen. And no, if we get into a race war or a civil war, black people will get their asses kicked. Stop thinking that we're going to win. We're outmatched, outnumbered, outgunned. We don't know how to. If you take away a black person's phone, we're screwed. These white folks have been practicing living off the land for like 200 years. Black folks in a civil war, we going to need air conditioning, chicken, preferably fried. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to need a bunch of stuff that we can't live without. So I get the frustration, but that's the part of what I do that white people that work in radio and media are unable to see. They literally are blind to the information that we are required to provide to the community that listens to us, because we were not given a lot of this information either in our developmental environments, our parents, our families, our friends, and we certainly weren't given a lot of this information in schools. And part of us having that information void is why our communities actually look and operate the way that they do. So I can't just, today in Milwaukee, the traffic and what, I don't care about the traffic. We have to talk about bigger issues and policy and how it works and budgets and how our tax dollars is getting spent to help somebody else and to harm us at the same time. That's what I got to discuss. And I'll tell these white folks 1,000,001 times, 6 ways from Sunday, and they don't get it because their radio and their broadcast medium is just to tell white people stuff they already know. Even if it's wrong, if it's racist, if it's a stereotype, like that is what white broadcast media does. In fact, it demeans us is what it does. That's it. If it's doing its job, white broadcast media keeps white people separate from us. It doesn't hold them responsible. It doesn't hold them accountable. It doesn't give them an accurate view of history. Like we that do black media, that is incumbent upon us. And white folks, they don't get it. And God bless them. I'm trying to teach them too. So when I come back, I'm going to take a break. I think I need to do this next segment, how the racism, that is still here today, still harms black people today. It doesn't just harm us. There's collateral damage when there's racism in a society, and it harms white people too. And I need them to see this and understand this, because soon y'all are going to be the N-words. And Donald Trump is already treating you like the N-words because for some damn reason, I can't understand this. White women who receive more food stamps than anybody were okay when the negative stereotypes about food stamps was black women and welfare mothers. Them white women sat back, didn't say a damn word. They didn't say, you know what, hey, we receive food stamps too. Not nan white family wanted to admit that they were poor and received food stamps, and they let the burden and the stereotype on these poor black women and these lazy black women be the assumption of who's getting food stamps, right? And so what happened? Public policy also thought the same thing, because white folks were not speaking up when they were getting food stamps. They know they grew up on food stamps. They mama, they cousin, they auntie, they all had them good grilled cheese sandwiches with the government cheese. Bring back government cheese! And when the stereotype reached the level of the federal government and Donald Trump is in office, now Donald Trump and his Republicans are going to starve who they only thought were poor, lazy black mothers and welfare queens. White women not going to be able to feed their families. Now, here's the thing, and this is where there's a rich sense of irony. We're going to feed our people. I promise you, ain't not nan black family going to go hungry. We're going to make sure y'all eat. Now, you ain't going to be able to eat all the time now. But if I got to throw me a Kraft macaroni and cheese and hot dog party, come on over to the crib now. But you got to be at the crib at 9 o'clock. I like to get my rest. So we're going to talk about how when white people who are insecure about their position in life and their economic standing, when they vote for racist policies because they think those racist policies and those racist policy makers are going to do something for them, they're not. Y'all are in the same boat as us, and it's sinking. And I don't really know how to swim, so there's that. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Hold up. Wait a minute. With 95 people voting on our YouTube poll, the question is Milwaukee a safe city? 64% of you say no. 36% of you say Milwaukee is a safe city. What? Damn. Zach, do you feel unsafe? Do you feel like somebody's...
I voted, that it's not a safe city. I was one of the first voters.
Well, maybe we need to talk about that. Do you feel... I mean, other than running into Israel, which is a threat for all of us, as long as we don't see him, we're fine, right? Nah. All right, well, I guess we'll talk about that too. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com. Milwaukee Panthers basketball is back. On Monday night, the Milwaukee Panthers welcome in the Hampton University Pirates to UWM Arena.
Saves with 2, Stillwell with 1. Baseline leaner is good. They've used every ounce of the shot clock, and Jermichael Stillwell finished it off inside.
Scott Warris has the coverage Saturday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Contract-ready businesses, opportunity seekers, partnership builders, deal closers. Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, is focused on you. This event puts small businesses like yours in the room with buyers, partners, and mentors who can open doors to bigger opportunities. Join us online December 9th and in person December 10th and 11th at Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Whether you're a construction company looking for contracts or a service provider ready to grow, Marketplace Wisconsin is for you. Meet one-on-one with government reps, corporate buyers, and resource providers. Small businesses like yours keep Wisconsin moving forward. Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is here to propel your growth. So join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, December 10th and 11th. Register today at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com. Presented by WEDC. Let's look forward together.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a woman-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Join us for the Greater Milwaukee Urban League's annual Black and White Ball on November 1st at the Bear Center. This elegant evening supports vital programs in employment, education, and economic opportunity for our community. Enjoy an unforgettable performance by national recording artist Sean Hinton and step out in your finest black and white attire and be part of something transformative. It's not too late to be a sponsor or reserve your seats by visiting gmul.org. That is gmul.org. The Black and White Ball. Building brighter futures together.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The first way structural and institutional racism harms white people is economic self-sabotage. Racism keeps wages and wealth low for everyone. When racism divides workers by race, it prevents collective bargaining for better pay, benefits, and working conditions. Corporations and elites have long used racial divisions to stop workers from uniting around economic interests. So here's an example. When we were escaping bondage and when the Emancipation Proclamation was finally realized, like 1866, 1867, and a lot of African Americans wanted to migrate north because that's where wage labor was. Remember, the North didn't have slave labor. They had wage labor. Everybody got paid for working in factories, and we had the Industrial Revolution going on at the time. So when African American men in particular, African American women a lot of times were domestics, and they still continued that domestic work even when they moved out of the South. But black men were skilled tradesmen. So this was never taught, and this is another burden that falls on those of us that do this line of work, to teach listeners of Black Talk Radio the pathology of African American men throughout American history. We didn't just go from slaves to Black Panthers. That there was a whole bunch of stuff in between. So if you owned human beings, the people that you owned didn't just plant and harvest crops. Like there's this mindset that slaves and those in bondage only did agricultural work. Well, what did we do when the crops were in the ground? We didn't just sit around and wait till the fall. We did everything, every imaginable skill. We were carpenters, we were blacksmiths and metal workers, we constructed roads, we constructed bridges, we built houses, we built barns. We were skilled labor. We were tradesmen, you see. And so when we moved north into the industrial cities of the Midwest, the upper Midwest, out east, etc., we as freed men had all of these skills. But that's when white men who were working in these industries already said, no, we don't want black men in our union. What? Dummy, you need more people in your union so you have more representation so you can fight unfair management and wage practices. So by white men not wanting to join forces with black men who had been skilled labor since they were 10 or 12 years old in slavery, kept us out of their unions. That's when we have the invention of closed shop unions. And what did it do? It allowed the business owners, the company owners, and the factory owners to continue to screw over those white workers because they didn't want to band forces with black men to increase the size of their union. White people, because of their racism, and this goes back to the foundations of the labor movement. Oh, we don't want you blacks in our union. And black men are like, why? There's literally 600,000 of us, and we can strengthen and give more political power to your union. Well, we don't want to because you're black. Yeah, but we're freedmen. We can actually vote, and we can vote and win elections for pro-labor candidates because you white guys and us black guys are all working for the same factory, getting screwed over by the same factory owner. Maybe we all should kind of work together and come together in strength in numbers, and then we can vote for elected officials at every level of government that can represent our interests. No. Well, because you guys are black, and we don't want... I mean, yeah, I know our interests are the same, but you guys are... In the early 20th century, white workers often refused to unionize with black workers. Employers exploited this, replacing striking white workers with who? Black workers, and vice versa. The results, all workers, black and white, earned less and had fewer protections, while the owners of those factories and companies got wealthier. And that wasn't us. That was white boys. 2, wasted public investment. Racism blocks infrastructure and opportunity. White resistance to investment in black communities often stops government from funding public goods that everyone can benefit from, like schools, transit, healthcare, and housing. Example, when cities build affordable housing or improve public transit, white opposition is framed as, quote, not wanting those people nearby often kills the projects. The result? Everyone, including working-class white families, have fewer transportation options, longer commutes, and higher living costs. Oh, there's so much more. Suburban resistance to school desegregation and integrated housing in the 1960s led to the rise of fragmented school districts and property tax-based funding. Now, even white middle-class families struggle with underfunded schools and student debt. Let's talk to... Oh, look. How's the recall going? Going okay? Going good?
Oh, hey, am I on the radio now?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going fantastic. I think sometimes you try to make fun of me about it when I call you in good faith, but that's okay. We need around 500 more signatures. I don't know if I'm going to make it because I got to go somewhere for a few days. Something happened, but outside of that, I'm listening to you. You make a lot of sense. You had mentioned something about like the preppers, right? You know that the thing with that's all a scam. You understand? Like when you watch it on TV and they talk about buy gold and all that, birch gold, all that stuff. So they find out where your money's at.
Doomsday preppers. When you say preppers, people don't know what that phrase is. Yeah.
Oh, well, the preppers, like my wife watches this stuff. Ty watches these shows. And she's like, what do you think of this? I'm like, well, first of all, the guys who really do that, you're never going to hear about them, right? You're not going to know. They're not going to show you what they do. I will tell you this. We have land up north. I got quite a bit of land. And it's all sited, meaning you know what that means, right? It means if it's 200 yards, I got something, 250, blah, 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 on out. But I got a guy stays up there, a couple stays up there year-round. They live there, and I got two we have two free-range German-bred Rottweilers from Germany.
Alan, what does this have to do with anything?
It has to do with prepping. But what I was going to try to tell you is people don't understand. I could go live in the woods tomorrow and not get found, just disappear. My wife can't live. She thinks she can. She can't go live in the woods, man.
Where's she going to get her hair done? She got to get her hair done and her lashes.
Hair, nails, everything, perfumes, all that stuff. She got a cute little hunting outfit and everything, but she went one time and she said, I don't like this, and went back and got mad because I don't have cable up there. Got a nice house, but it's all everything runs on propane and things like that. But what was I going to get back to? Oh, you're talking about all the time about these. How about the white people who come in and use the laws that are created for black people, and then the black politicians help the white people screw over the black people, and everybody makes money, but the people are getting screwed over time and time and time again.
Alan, was affirmative action, where white women benefited from that probably more than anybody else. But guess what? Now that affirmative action, those white women benefited from, unconstitutional. So there's an example of that. You're right. We agree.
Exactly. And the beautiful thing about this, yesterday, I just got off the phone with the cops too about something. But the thing is here, I got to find out my rights. I'm going to bring my dogs down here, I think, from up. That's where we're going to take a ride. I got to go up there.
All right.
And I'm going to.
All right. That's thank you. All right, then, Alan. I got to do a radio show. He hung up. Did you hang up on him, Zach? You hung up on him, didn't you?
My finger slipped.
You can't do that. You got to let me do the hanging up. It's more dramatic when I do it. Oh, yeah, me and Ty are going to go up north. We're probably going to take I just got out the phone with the cops. I think I'm hungry. I think I'm going to go down to the bakery and get some crullers. Tomorrow's a Friday. I think I'm going to go and get a fish fry. That's what my calls are like with him. Wasted public investment, how racism blocks infrastructure and opportunities. Suburban resistance to school desegregation and integrated housing in the 1960s led to the rise of fragmented school districts and property tax-based funding. Now, even white middle-class families struggle with underfunded schools and student debt. Healthcare gaps hurt everyone. How it works. Racism in healthcare, where policies underfund clinics and hospitals serving communities of color, creates fragile, inequitable systems that leave all poor and rural Americans at risk. Hospitals that served predominantly black populations were allowed to close or lose funding, especially after segregation ended. Decades later, those same counties often have no hospitals at all, affecting white residents too. During COVID-19, racism-driven health disparities like ignoring black health outcomes meant America was slower to respond to systemic health inequities, leading to hundreds of thousands of avoidable deaths, many among rural white Americans. Political manipulation. Racism weakens democracy. Bingo. Politicians use racial resentment to divide voters, passing policies that favor the wealthy while convincing poor and working class white voters that they're protecting their culture. If this ain't Donald Trump, I don't know what is. The Southern strategy. Politics stoked racial fears to win white votes while quietly dismantling unions, cutting taxes for the rich, and gutting public services. Those same cuts later hurt rural white communities. You're about to lose your stamps. Now, we're going to take care of our people. Black folks going to eat. I am concerned about those rural white folks that do not have the networks of nonprofits that can quickly transition into food providing and food serving agencies and organizations. We'll turn MPS into one big food pantry if we have to. Our people going to eat now. But they voted for someone that does not care if their own voters starve. That right there. I don't know why a single damn one of y'all would ever vote Republican ever again. Now, here's the thing. You don't know yet. You have no idea how many white members of your white families are on stamps. You had no clue. You about to find out. They're going to be calling you. Hey, Martha, how are you? I know I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you? Hey, good. How are the kids? Hey, say, Martha, you guys cooking dinner tonight? Are you going to make kielbasa? Hey, I love kielbasa. It's delicious when you cook it. You get some potatoes, get you some bell peppers in there, some onions and some garlic. You make it with rice. Don't sleep on sausage that's shaped like a U.
It tastes so good.
It really does. You know what I'm talking about? The Hillshire Farms. It's a U-shaped sausage, and you cut it up, and you can make it. You can eat it with breakfast. It's delicious. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It tastes so good.
Your big night deserves more than just music. Prom, homecoming, graduation, weddings, corporate gatherings. Every occasion deserves a soundtrack that elevates the moment. I'm Kyrie, DJ Rhea Maniac Brooks, community leader and your dedicated DJ. From the very first consultation to the last track, I'll make sure every detail aligns with your vision. For more information about how you can make your event unforgettable, visit www.djreemaniac.com. That's www.djreemaniac.com. Make your event an experience with DJ Rhea Maniac.
Getting to treatment shouldn't stand between you and life-saving care. The American Cancer Society's Road to Recovery program eases your burden by providing free rides to cancer-related medical appointments. Their trained volunteer drivers are ready to pick you up, take you to your appointment, and bring you safely back home, all at no cost. Don't let transportation keep you from the care you need. Schedule a ride today by visiting their website, cancer.org/transportation. That's cancer.org/transportation.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
Juneteenth signifies the occasion in 1865 when the final enslaved blacks in Texas were notified of their liberation 2.5 years subsequent to the Emancipation Proclamation. The moment when 100% of victims of slavery finally recognized their liberation indicated the principles of the U.S. Constitution came to be universally applicable. This represents a success for Black Americans and a subsequent and significant point in American history, highlighting the nation's alleged dedication to liberty and justice for all. The recent verdict in the murder of Sade Robinson serves as a reminder of the enduring evils and oppression we still face. Despite independence, numerous blacks still encounter exploitation, and they are masquerading as freedom. Commemorating Juneteenth compels us all to acknowledge these realities and compel the nation's past and promote a truthful national narrative. Juneteenth, along with the murder conviction of the disgusting individual who killed Miss Robinson, serves not merely as a celebration, but also as a summons to action. Remember this history in your daily discussions and interactions. If Juneteenth caused the conflation of liberty and justice for Black America, I say one death represented by the murder of Miss Robinson is a denial of liberty and an injustice to all of Black America.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Calling all Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We've teamed up with Associated Bank for the Black-owned Business Give Back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and their journey on 1017 The Truth. To sign up for your Black Business Spotlight interview, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com, Associated Bank member FDIC. And Truth Nation, the countdown is on for our second annual Truth Summit. It's going to be taking place Saturday, November 15th from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at Thrive on King. This free in-person event brings together bold voices and sharp minds to tackle Milwaukee's biggest challenges, from healthcare disparities to fixing our broken education pipeline. Dr. Ken Harris leads the charge with expert guests and real talk you will not want to miss. Lock in your seat now at 1017thetruthsummit.com, presented by 1MKE and Thrive on King. I don't think that our education pipeline is broken at all. I like when people talk about our systems being broken. No, they're working exactly how they're supposed to. They have to be stratified to where you can't provide, otherwise the whole experiment of this country of dividing people by race fails. Where it is maintained is in education. So if Black children, however it comes to pass, that if they're not doing well in school, that's actually working. Do you think that America would systematically and institutionally harm, hurt, and stifle Black progress just to educate Black kids? Come on now, y'all got to know better than that. That's where it begins. It begins in making sure these kids are not academically prepared to deal with the technical sophistication and the rigors of the real world. You release them out into the world without the knowledge that they need to become successful, and you're going to catch a bunch of them. You can catch a bunch of them breaking the law. You can catch a bunch of them that are going to be dependent on the government, are going to be deep in the throes of poverty. Some of them are going to be homeless. Some of them are going to abuse drugs. Some of them are going to abuse alcohol. It all begins with the developmental environment that we provide for children. And that is the one thing that America should invest in universally. Let me tell you why. Because China does. These Chinese kids can speak, read, and write English in 6th grade better than some of our graduating seniors speak English and read and write English. Yep. So, yeah, I don't think that. And then a bunch of Black people saying, oh, here's what we need to do to fix the education system. Quite honestly, it's not even really on us. Because where do our Because we've done it all. We've requested, we've demanded, haven't we? We've gotten angry, we've protested, we've marched, we've voted, we've made telephone calls, we've sent emails. What else have we done, y'all? We've gone to town hall meetings. We have done everything. And where has it gotten us? Pacified at best. What more are we supposed to do? If at its core, and I'm going to use this as a hypothetical, but I argue with teachers all the time, and it's usually white women teachers, because even if, so a white woman teacher who is a liberal, who teaches in a public school that's majority black, oh, I hate to say it, but sometimes they're the worst ones. They're the worst ones because they don't see it. It's like, I feel so bad for these poor little kids. I just, they're not even really human. They're like little rescue animals. I wish that I could buy them all winter coats. I wish. And they think that that level of low expectation and sympathy is actually good for those children. And then they say these like covert things that makes them hate their families. Like it'll be something like, here, Johnny. Here, I brought you an extra piece of pizza from lunch. I bet your mom wouldn't do this for you. Here, Johnny, I saw that you didn't have any mittens. I don't know why your mother would send you to school without any mittens. Here, take 2 pair. I got them out the lost and found. And now the kid is like, my mama's a deadbeat. Like that little covert stuff actually gets children to hate their parents. I'm not kidding, and they do it all the time. And they say, oh, sure, when I just want to help these children. I want to help them. But then I asked this teacher, well, where do you send your kids? You want to help these kids and you want them to have the best education possible. Well, where do you send your kids? I'd never send the kids to the school that I teach at. Bingo. Because they know. What is the point? If you vote to make sure that other people don't get the same opportunities and same advantages that you and your family have gotten, because, America's real competitive. Problem is, we're so busy competing against one another, we forgot we need to compete against other countries. But why would you want somebody else's kids if you had control over it? Now, black people see it differently. I think that we would educate white kids to the best of our ability because I think we see the humanity in people. They have, like, so much of their developmental environment has been like bombarding them with black people we're others and we're criminals, and not even the conditions that create the outcomes. They just see us as just really, really bad and deficient people. They may not even admit it, but like deep down inside, like, oh, black people just mess everything up. But then if you ask them about their dope-addicted cousin, brother, niece, cousin, nephew, mama, sister, auntie, well, no, that's different, Sherwin. They just fell on hard times. No, that's different. The way they make up excuses for people in their families who are infinitely worse in some cases, people in our families, infinitely worse. Because those individuals, and I'm not making fun of or shaming addiction, but whatever issues and problems that white folks go through, and everybody goes through stuff. Hispanic people and Asian people, everybody goes through stuff. But with white people, you never have gone through things because of your race. And if you're going to use the excuse, because I hear you now, well, the black person got the job instead of me because of affirmative, you better not say it. Affirmative action is now unconstitutional. If you didn't get the job and the black person did, you're mediocre. It's okay. It is. Mediocrity amongst genteel white society, when you replace it with loyalty, you'll get promoted. You ain't got to be good. You don't have to be stellar. You don't have to be revolutionary or evolutionary in your thinking. You don't have to do any of that. Come to work every day and just listen. Do what you're told. That's it. And they will promote you to the highest levels that Jesus would allow. You do not have to be good. And then you get a black person who worked twice as hard, got a bunch of degrees, beautiful resume, and had to put up with racist, insecure white people the whole way. And then you put that person up in the same department with the white person who's mediocre and just was loyal. That black person gets bored at that job because they realize they're not even in like intellectual company. This happens all the time. Part of the dissatisfaction that African Americans have in the upper ranks of corporate America is we look around and be like, ain't nobody here even smart. Like, what do you mean I've been using AI for 2 years. What do you mean you just, I don't understand you. What do you mean you don't create your own bumper music for your radio shows? What do you do? Like, what do you, how do you decide on your topics? Okay, that's how you. Just saying, we're not the same. What else we got here? Economic drag and lower wages for most workers. The mechanism racial division weakens worker bargaining power and keeps wage floors low for everyone. Discriminatory hiring and pay practices suppresses aggregate demand and productivity. In the Jim Crow South and later, employers use racial resentment to block unionization and pit black and white workers against each other. Result, lower wages for everyone. Today, anti-discrimination enforcement gaps let firms underpay certain groups, which also drags down pay benchmarks for other groups in similar jobs. A smaller slice of black workers means a smaller pie overall. Most white workers outside the top benefit when all workers can bargain fairly. Higher taxes and costs due to over-incarceration and punitive systems. Racist policing and sentencing create oversized criminal justice systems. Those budgets crowd out spending on schools, infrastructure, and healthcare that benefit everyone, including white people. A country spends heavily on jails and policing that disproportionately target black residents. That leaves fewer funds to fix all roads, update all water systems, or expand mental health clinics used by white residents too. And I wonder, is it worth it? I read earlier, there's 200,000 people currently serving life sentences. That's a fifth or something like of all incarcerated people. And it's very costly, it costs a lot of money. But when we're spending that kind of money to quote unquote keep people safe, how are we benefiting from that? When all of that money that is being used to incarcerate these people, let's not even include the people that are spending life in prison. Let's just look at other folks for minor offenses. And all that money goes to incarcerate those folks. But then I ask you, with all the money we're spending, we're talking billions and billions of dollars in the state of Wisconsin and nationwide. And then I put up a poll on the YouTube today asking you all, is Milwaukee a safe city? 64% of you say no. We're almost at 100 voters. I would be a more accurate poll if 2 more people voted. So go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe, and then vote in the poll, do you think Milwaukee is a safe city? No matter how many people vote, overwhelmingly, people do not think Milwaukee is a safe city, meaning all this money that we are spending to incarcerate people and just the criminal justice system, whether it be prosecutors and public defenders and assistant district attorneys, it's not working. And it's such a drain and a drag on our tax dollars that we can't invest in other things that everybody can benefit from. So go and vote. Oh, look at that. 3 more people just vote. Now we got 101 votes. So statistically, 65% of you, 65 out of 101 people, said no, Milwaukee is not a safe city. 35% of you say yes. Personally, I do think it's a safe city, but safety is very subjective, depending upon who you are, where you're from, and how familiar you are with the city of Milwaukee, including how the hell you act. I sometimes got to tell my white friends, you don't got to go up to everybody and say hi. You can't. Sometimes they're too friendly, Zach. You can't, especially the white women. But Sherwin, I just want to say hello to him. Okay. He gonna leave you where he finds you. You better not. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to The Truth this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for another episode of 4 Together for Kids, presented by City 4 Collective and hosted by myself, Kyle Wallace, and Colestin Morgan Jr., Executive Director at City 4 Collective. We'll be joined by Jody Weber, CEO of Seeds of Health, a public charter school system which operates 5 schools inside the city of Milwaukee. We will discuss how every high school senior enrolls in a pathway program at MATC to prepare for their journey after high school. Again, that's 4 Together for Kids this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. and Sunday at 2:30 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
You ever see the sign above the highway? The number of people that have been killed on the road? My wife, my son, and my unborn child were killed by a distracted driver. They were more than just a number.
Your phone isn't worth it. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Gina Della and her team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always have the winning game plan. Check out the championship caliber play call this month. A whole house of beautiful, new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month, and get this, 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's like running a drive that keeps moving the chains with no penalties and no interest. And I can tell you from my experience, Pella windows actually stop the drafts. You'll stay comfortable no matter how cold it gets outside. Think about it. Energy savings, comfort, and a great monthly payment you can actually manage. That's why I trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and why this is the right time to make your move. Call today and schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 10/31 of 2025.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Black Business Give Back Spotlight tomorrow at 3:57 p.m. Kyle Wallace will be joined by Sensore Irving, founder and executive director of Resources and Beyond. They will discuss Irving's efforts in creating family stability for people in Milwaukee and why she opened up a community food pantry. Oh, we're going to need her to provide necessary resources to those in need in our community. Once again, that's a Black Business Give Back Spotlight tomorrow at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Sensore Irving got a food pantry, so she's needed. There's probably going to be a bunch of food pantry people. I told you I'll do a little hot dogs and some Kraft macaroni and cheese. I'll feed some people. Y'all come on over to the crib now. Just wipe your feet. I ain't going to have my people going hungry. I ain't going to do all that. I'm just not happy about what our government is doing and the people that they are harming. It's not good to have a president or an executive branch that's not empathetic to people that are not like them, but you're starting to see it. Also got a story here. So there's a lot of asbestos. The White House, when it was built, that was one of the building and insulation materials. So whenever you remove or you deconstruct a building or demolish a building where asbestos was used as insulation, there's a real, careful set of federally mandated steps you have to take to make sure that the asbestos dust is not flying around, because asbestos causes cancer. Not a little bit. Asbestos causes cancer a lot of bit. It's now illegal to use, but back in the day, we didn't know the dangers of asbestos, so they used it all over the place. Here, we got asbestos in the cough syrup. Here, put it in your breakfast cereal. Here, we're going to make car parts out of it. Asbestos. It's a wonderful, new, revolutionary thing. So the White House, where they're demolishing the East Wing, I don't know why I'm laughing. It's awful. So it was insulated with asbestos. A lot of it. Turns out the Trump administration, or whoever it is that he hired to do this demolition, didn't remove the asbestos. So now there's asbestos dust flying all throughout Washington, D.C. and all throughout the White House. It's just... And so then the Trump administration was confronted by Senator Merkley. They're like, hey, can we see the asbestos removal process from when, because they have to do an assessment before you do the demolition, right? And Trump was like, well, we just don't want to show you. We did it. We just don't want you to see it. And so I guess now they're backtracking, trying to remediate the asbestos. And there's just huge piles of rubble. So every time you move it. So when asbestos gets removed, you got to use like water to tamp down the dust. There was no water that was used. So it's just cancer dust flying all over the place. It's just one day people are going to read the headlines from what we just are getting immune to and what we're numb to, and they're going to think that every single one of us that was alive during this era was insane. President decides to tear down the east wing of the White House to build a 90,000 square foot ballroom for $300 million that technically he's never going to get to dance in. And oh, by the way, they let the asbestos dust fly all around the White House in Washington, D.C. Somebody's going to read that headline in 2075 and be like, what the hell? That person's going to read. They're going to listen to our shows and like, what the hell were you guys doing? Oh, we had a bunch of No Kings marches, because we're going to have to say that we did something. So, you know, people in the year 2075, they'll all be sitting next to their AI-powered robot boyfriends and girlfriends, because that's how the future is going to be. And they're going to read what is happening, and they're just going to have a whole lot of questions. But don't we oftentimes look back on parts of history and wonder, like, wow, what were normal, regular, everyday people doing? Like the Holocaust. We may ask the German people, like, hey, Brunhilde, question for you, sweetheart. Yes. What were you doing when Hitler was like, you know what I mean, doing his thing? Well, we were making sauerkraut and we were going for walks and we were walking our dachshunds and our German shepherds. Is a German shepherd just called a shepherd in Germany? Like they had plausible deniability, because the concentration camps and death camps weren't in Germany. They were in like Poland and other Eastern European countries. So the German people just we feel so bad because we didn't know. Here in America, we do know what is happening. And so somebody in the future might say, okay, so they cut off people's food subsidies. So what did you guys do, especially, you know, white people that are receiving SNAP benefits? Like what did you guys do? Well, we went to Sherwin's house and we had Kraft mac and cheese and hot dogs and kielbasa's. Like that's how you guys dealt with it? Oh yeah, that's exactly how much Kraft macaroni and cheese am I gonna need to buy? Because I have a feeling I'm gonna have to get one of them big pots. And just dump a whole bunch of noodles in one of them big old chef's, you know, them kind of pots that you put like a lobster in, you know, them real big, tall steel ones. Y'all can come over and get macaroni and cheese. I ain't gonna have y'all starving. Somebody buy the Vanessa, JD. I would have Al buy the hot dogs, but he might swallow them all. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened to them hot dogs. Oh, Al, I'm kidding. It's Linda I should worry about, because Linda would show up with no pants on. Hey, Sherwin. Hey, good black and white people eating hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.
Come in with straight truth.